I actually timed it right for once. Hell yeah. Hello, hello. Good, technically, morning. Yeah, I'm counting this as morning. It's lunchtime, technically, but I haven't had breakfast or lunch, so this is morning to me. Well, so welcome back to Paranormasight that is taking precedence over every other game I'm doing right now. Simply because I'm just like, yeah, alright, I need to know what is happening here. I cannot stop. I'm just gonna keep playing this, I don't care. I did one thing off stream. I did one thing off stream, and that was go absolutely crazy in the water minigame. And the diving minigame, I mean. And aside from like, okay, there's 3 trophies dedicated to it, I think, and the highest one is like, oh, get 2,000 points in one dive, which works because sometimes I've had it happen several times where just a bunch of abalones, I still don't know how you pronounce them, spawn in basically one area, so you just collect all of these in one go, and I've reached level 17, which is the highest you need to go to level every single thing to level 5. So I don't know if we're ever gonna go diving again. Probably, maybe not. There was also one thing that happened that I cannot replicate again anymore. There was, as I was trying to find all of the stickers, I have those now. There's 4 of those. 4 of those underwater, which is crazy. There was one area close to our little hole that we initially died in. If you go in there again, you also, by the way, you just die. It's just a bad ending in that sense. There was one, I think, close by that looked like some kind of writing on the wall, and you could collect it. So I did that. It was really hard to collect. Took a bunch of time. Almost makes you run out of air if you're not high enough level. So I'm assuming that's probably going to be important sometime later. So I have that now, but no, they didn't say anything about it yet. So I don't know. Well, I'm just keeping it in mind that I collected something down there. We are... I already forgot their names. Yeah, Yumiko. Okay, we are here. We haven't finished this one yet, so we're just gonna see how it goes. It says after the mermaid corpse has been discovered on the beach. While Yumiko and her partner investigating its whereabouts, they run into an important local figure. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see. Date unknown. Afternoon, Yamashina Estate. Oh yeah, you do look important. Mr. Yamashina, thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. I understand you're a busy man. Not like I have much choice when it's some bigwig from the prefectural police badgering me to do so. So, Yoshiki from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division, was it? And here I thought you were just some housemaid. You sure you're from the police and I get up? I mean, I would say she probably wears that on purpose. Well, I'm primarily a housewife by trade, but that's hardly important right now. You're also known as Unkakudono, I believe. After hearing so many rumors, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. Rumors, eh? Unkakudono Yoshiatsu Yamashina. Well, I have no idea what that means. But I will probably find out. Yoshiatsu Yamashina, a tycoon, 70 years old. A wealthy tycoon who owns multiple companies and swaths of land, particularly in Netsu and Ise areas. Born in the Taisha period, unmarried. Oh, that's uncommon. His family first came into business in the Edo period, traveling from town to town, selling talismans, miscanthus, reed hoops, and other items to ward off evil spirits. During the Meiji period, this business expanded into a trading company, and the Yamashina family became prominent contributors to the development of the region. Born to the heir of the Yamashina family business and the daughter of a noble family, Yoshiatsu grew up in an affluent environment where he received a thorough education tailored to gifted children. Following the end of the war, Yoshiatsu inherited the company assets in his 30s, but was quick to sell off all the shares he owned, using the proceeds to buy and sell real estate and stocks, a practice that made him extremely wealthy. After amassing his fortune, he showed a keen interest in investing in ambitious young people, actively mentoring those he took a particular liking to. This approach led to the emergence of many successful businessmen, which included Shinobu Wakamura of Kamishima. Those who have received Yamashina's support view him with both gratitude and a sense of awe bordering on reverence, referring to him as Unkaku Dono, a title that evokes a figure elevated above the clouds. I have never heard that word before in my life, but okay. Yamashina has always shown a strong attachment to wealth, even going so far as to partake in illicit activities such as illegal donations, tax evasion, insider trading, and media control, all in an effort to garner even more status and money. Oh god. In the shadow of their many success stories enabled by his support, many more of his beneficiaries have fallen into bankruptcy or been arrested, fueling endless unsavory rumors about him to this day. Yamashina himself, however, seems to be unconcerned by these rumors, considering anything that does not directly harm him to be beneath his notice. Oh god, okay. Good morning! How are you? Even as a lifelong bachelor, he has surrounded himself with many followers, both publicly and privately, and has never lacked for anything to satisfy his personal needs. A few years ago, he began to seriously consider the issue of a successor, driven by his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen fascination with immortality around the same time, and is said to be secretly investing vast amounts of money into research on the topic. Of course! Some kind of landlord, tycoon, whatever, who has money to probably burn would be interested in immortality. I've never heard that one before in my life. You're happy to be here? I'm glad you're not. I haven't had anything to eat yet today because when I take my pills in the morning, I have to wait a little, and then I kind of forgot about it, and now we're here. And the only thing I have is chips. The best thing you could probably eat that is most certainly healthy. Okay. Some old guy who is interested in immortality. You would be interested in a mermaid's flash, wouldn't you? Assuming the flash actually does grant you immortality and is not just a saying. Yes, I have been doing some under-the-table research into immortality. And so what if I am? Well now, I wouldn't have expected you to be such a dreamer, but it does make you just a bit more relatable. You can love all you want. What's it got to do with the police anyway? It seems on this particular occasion it has quite a bit to do with the police, unfortunately. You don't say. I do say. I do, in fact, say. These splendid gardens all fall within the grounds of Mr. Yamashina's Issa City estate. Part of me wonders why he needs so much space when he doesn't have a family. Well, he has the money, so obviously. Suppose he has an image to maintain. At some point, if you garner enough money and attention, you just need to go for more and more, despite it being way overkill for one singular person, but I wouldn't know. I've never felt that way. I've never had any amount of money similar to what this dude seems to have. This is Yoshiatsu Yamashina. He's a tycoon with multiple properties and companies to his name, mostly based here in Isushima. He's long been rumored of being involved in various shady dealings. Special Investigations has had an eye on him for a while now, but they haven't managed to find any concrete evidence so far. It seems he has a knack for pinning the blame on his subordinates before finding a way to slip away. Needless to say, he and the police are quite familiar with each other by this point. Ah, great. Though I don't doubt he has local police chiefs and politicians under his thumb behind the scenes. There's no need for me to get involved in all that. I'll be satisfied as long as I get the information we need from him. And what is the information we need from him? I'll get straight to the point. I believe you took a mermaid corpse into your possession this morning. What? The corpse is linked to an ongoing case. We came here to ask you to release it into police custody. No need what you're on about. No idea. Of course you will get something in return. We have some information I'm sure you'll find quite profitable in exchange. Like I said, no idea what you're on about. If that's all you came here for, then scram. Oh, pity. I really thought you'd be interested in what we had to share. Assuming you really are interested in immortality. Well, I suppose we barely know each other. It's only natural that you'd be wary of our intentions. What do you say to a little chat to get to know each other better, Mr. Unkakudono? Oh god, I don't like that word. I hear you've been putting quite a bit of effort into training up the younger generation recently. What's your take on today's youth? Useless, a lot of them. Bunch of pushovers that have let all this new generation try go to their heads. It's a bit unnerving, yes, especially when he opens them. Fully, it's just like... You need to check the first game out? Yes, please! It's so good. It's also interesting because you can clearly tell they had more money, time, I don't know, of a budget for this one, which I'm very happy about. Like the first one already had like this whole vibe going on with how the art looked and everything, but this one is an upgrade for sure. Because it's like they all look somewhat realistic, but still like not too much. So the teeth and the gums and everything don't look out of place, but it's also not completely like, oh yeah, a generic anime art style. I like that. We're the ones who built this country back up after the war, but they're out here strutting around like they own the place. Far too big for their britches. My oldest scathing review. Would our resident member of the new generation like to comment? No, leave him be. Please don't call me that. I hear you've been searching for a successor, though. Given your strong opinions on the matter, I take it that you're struggling. Though I can see where that could lead to a desire for immortality. After all, there's no need to cede your legacy to someone else if you can remain at the reins yourself, That might have been true when I started my research. Oh? I take it that isn't the case now. I'm no spring chicken. The thought of living for hundreds of years like this ain't exactly appealing anymore. That's the thing, right? It's always the case, it's like, okay, you're immortal, but at what point? Imagine if you gain immortality at 98? You can barely move, you can barely talk. Maybe you have dementia or something, and then you gain immortality. Would you really want to live forever in that case? It's a good question. I don't see much point in immortality if I'm already long past my prime. Well, that certainly is different from the rumors. My apologies for jumping to conclusions. You have my wholehearted agreement that immortality doesn't necessarily bring happiness, though. Let me clear up one more thing while we're at it. I've already decided on my successor. Oh? Turns out the perfect candidate was right under my nose the entire time. I haven't told them yet, but they're sharp one. They'll do a fine job. Ah! Happy New Saturday. Hi, Spooky. Good morning. Vampire Game, one of the characters was a woman who became a vampire when she was elderly. I always heard like a bad fate. Ah, but it sounds interesting. It sounds like a different take on the genre because it's just like, you gain the immortality. You want me to cut my hair? Okay. Why do none of you want me to have long hair? That's crazy. Not that I don't like it, but it's interesting. It's like, if you gain immortality, does it like kind of reset any problems you have with your body, or is it just like, nope, it just stops exactly there? It's just too cute. Oh, thank you. Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. I suppose that would mean that you no longer have any need for immortality then. Who said I wasn't still interested? It simply has nothing to do with my successor. I still intend on continuing my research for medical advancement, you understand? Think of it as doing my bit for society. Ah, yes, yes. Mr. Rich Guy is looking into immortality for the advancement, the medical advancement. My joints have been killing me for the past century, like, genuinely. Say hi. Good morning. I'm sorry, I need something in my stomach. You lot are always quick to assume the worst of whatever I do. How about you mind your own business for a change? My guy, we have lost an entire corpse and we have good reason to believe you have it. We cannot mind our own business. Well, there's not much we can say to that. We'll try to be more discerning from now on. Alright. What else? I've already chosen my successor, no need to harp on about it anymore. I already written up my will and passed it off to my lawyer. You be sure to let your friends at the police know too. Oh, okay. By the way, you're obviously not just a run-of-the-mill cop. Who are you? I'm just a housewife. Oh. Right, I believe I mentioned it when I introduced myself. I'm just a simple housewife. I'll likely tell. Plus, the fellow next to you's also got a strange air about him. He's not an ordinary person, is he? I hope servant of you. I suppose you could say that, yes. It doesn't take a genius to see it. One of them phony psychic types, are you? Phony? Hit a nerve, did I? There are far too many of your kind around lately. Cozying up to those in power by feeding them a bunch of nonsense, lies, and cheaters, all of you. Oh! You're not at all... Wait, you're looking into immortality, but you don't believe in the supernatural? You seem to have quite a chip on your shoulder about this, Mr. Yamashina. Don't know if it's because of this occult craze going around, but I've seen far too many folks get taken in by that tribe. Occult craze. Spiritual phenomena, the supernatural, aliens, cryptids, lost civilizations, extrasensory perception. The list goes on. Such unexplainable phenomena are quick to take on a life of their own. A police saw named Nessie living in Loch Ness, sightings of mythical creatures like the Tsuchinoko or Hibagon, the urban legends of the Kuchisake Onna, and Hanako-san. Television reports of spoon-bending psychics, documentaries featuring spirit photography, and UFOs that become the talk of the school the next day. These are only a few examples of stories that have captivated the public's interest. Magazines specializing in paranormal phenomena continue to thrive with no end to the craze inside. Yeah, I guess. By the way, we found all of the birds that we can have right now, which is pretty good, I'd say. The Wakamuda over in Kamishima is one of them. Talk about a waste of potential. The birds mock you with their smug aura, yeah. They're really cool and they know it. Wakamuda. Wait. Also, can I move? Oh, I can move. Aha! Speaking of. A mockingbird. Speaking of. Okay, what else? Can't say I care much about who you are anymore. You're going around with some phony psyche tells me all I need to know. Nyahaha. How dare you? Soto, calm down. He can think what he wants. Yeah, but he doesn't need to say it out loud. What? Wait. Okay. No. That was the shortest short hair I've ever seen. There's one thing I should warn you about. Eating the flesh of that mermaid you found won't grant you immortality. And what would you know about that? Well, you know, one hears all sorts of things in this day and age. I don't know where it came from, but there seems to be a legend that eating mermaid flesh will grant one immortality. All I wanted to say was that it's just that, a legend. It has no basis in reality at all. How can you be so sure? Just think about it. If that legend were true, wouldn't it be strange that no confirmed immortals have ever been found? Yeah, who's to say that I'm just living in hiding? The legend of Yaobikuni is passed down in over 100 places across Japan, yet not a single verifiable immortal has ever been found to show for it. So you mean to say all those legends were fake? Please. If even just one of those tales is true, there's always a chance there's an immortal hiding away somewhere. I see. You really are quite the dreamer, aren't you? A gross surprise of immortality is eating mermaid flesh? Yeah! Especially from what we've seen. For one, the mermaid we've seen was just a human trying to... No, not trying. Being turned into a fish. And the other one is just... Okay, so you find a dead person who just has a different legs than someone else and you're going to eat them? Is that not still cannibalism? Like, okay. I figured you were trying to bluff me out of that mermaid corpse for some reason or other, but now I'm sure of it. The thing's hiding some sort of secret, isn't it? Something you don't want me to find out. No! So you admit you have the mermaid corpse then? Oh, don't worry, we assumed as much from the start. If I'm not mistaken, the mermaid was in a sort of mummified state, no? I doubt you'd be eating it as it is. Surely there's no harm in handing it over. So you can hog it for yourself? You won't fool me that easily. You don't think that a rare specimen like that ought to be placed in a care for proper research institute? Is that not still cannibalism? True, true. I'm hungry. It's interesting how some of the crunching, I guess, the microphone picks up on, and some it doesn't at all. I'm saying I get a specialist research institute to study it. Problem solved. I suppose so. I make sure the mermaid gets studied properly. Don't you worry about that. Okay. Do I not have anything else to say about the mermaid? No. But it's not done. There's no... Okay. By the way, you're quite well connected around these parts, if I'm not mistaken. This doesn't have anything to do with what we came here to talk about. But I was wondering if you happen to recognize the person in this sketch. It seems he lived in the Isashima area around 6 years ago. No, never seen him. I assume you've heard the news about the old human bones found on the seabed. This is a sketch of one of the victims from that case. You sure you have no idea who it could be? First I've heard of it, actually. Got no interest in things that have nothing to do with me. Who might this Wakamuna be? Wakamuna, he's one of my proteges. He's the one currently in charge over on Kamishima. Used to have high hopes for that one, but that changed when he came under the thrall of some phony sorcerer in Tokyo. I see. Is that why he has so much trouble with the phony sorcerers? A phony sorcerer in Tokyo? You heard it right. Since then, there's been no end to his nonsense. Buying properties out in the mountains, changing company names, all because of something his sorcerer whispered in his ear. He even told me the layout of my house was unlucky and tried to get me to renovate the place. Just recently, he was going on about some curse causing a big storm, that sort of rubbish. Oh, no, that's right. A storm caused by a curse, you say? Even said the storm 5 years ago was caused by the same curse. The feng shui is awful, yeah! The feng shui. I don't actually know how you pronounce it. I've always, like in German, I've always said feng shui, but I think that's wrong. I've been trying to beat him into helping him find some ways to stop it. But I'm done with him and his ramblings. Man's clearly a lost cause. He'll be coming over here tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it's time to have someone else take the reins over on Kamishima. I see. So even though you believe in immortality, you refuse to associate with anything to do with the occult. That's what I'm saying. And you do? I figured someone claiming to be a cop would have more sense than that. How are you meant to solve crimes if criminals can just pull out curses left and right? You won't find me disagreeing there. So what exactly has this Wakamoto been saying about its curse? Hell, if I remember. Why don't you go to Kamishima and ask the man yourself? Maybe we will. Thank you for the information. Is there anything you can tell us about the phony sorcerer this Wakamoto is so devoted to? Wakamoto went on about how there's some big shot who appeared on television. Never heard of him. As I said, just ask him yourself. Of course, we'll be sure to do so. I don't like that this one is not... Okay. I'm amazed we were able to get an appointment with him this quickly. Yes, and all thanks to Detective Ine, it would seem he's quite a capable fellow. Thinking? After looking into the corpse of the mermaid found earlier this morning, it seems highly likely that it was taken into the custody of Mr. Yamashina here. He's quite the big shot around here with plenty of weight to throw around both politically and financially. Of course, all the local police know of him and of his moniker, Unkakudono. We had to get one of the high-ups to act as an intermediary to even get a meeting with him. Personally, I'm happy as long as we can get the mermaid corpse back from him, although I certainly won't complain if he can tell us anything about the curse as well. He is quite a curmudgeon, so we'll have to watch our step when dealing with him. Okay, do we use our ability? Because I have nothing else? I'm not quite sure what to make of the vision ability yet, because it hasn't helped us so far. What else can I talk about? Apparently he wears a crescent hakama every day, not exactly casual wear for most people. Wearing something like that in the summer heat, that's commitment to keeping up appearances. True? Aha! How about this then? If you agree to give her the mermaid, we'll tell you what we know in return. For someone who doesn't seem to believe in the occult, you seem awfully fixated on this mermaid and immortality. Which suggests to me you found something you consider quite conclusive. Nah, what are you on about now? Well, I happen to know a bit more about mermaids than most people. Ma'am, are you sure? She a mermaid? It's fine. I had the opportunity to do some research into them a while back, you see. You don't say. And? Well, mermaids do indeed have the ability to grant a human immortality. I knew it. More precisely, individuals granted immortality in this way are known as 800-year immortals. So they have a lifespan of 800 years. That's specific. That's right, as the name suggests, they gain 800 years of remaining life. During this time, they won't age a day, and even if they die, they resurrect immediately. What? Huh? Hmm. 800 years is... Oh, so that brings us to our earlier question. What if you get granted this immortality when you're already old? And you get resurrected. Does that mean you resurrect in the same state? Like, as the old person? If you're reaching 800 today, you would have eaten a mermaid in the Middle Ages. What does the resurrection part mean? Sounds like a real blessing. No, I'm afraid it's anything but. One who defies the very laws of nature like that is no longer human. Then an anomalous being that should not be allowed to exist. Such our position requires that any such individuals we find are dealt with as swiftly as possible. Indeed, this immortality was originally a curse mermaids placed upon humans. A curse? Immortality is neither a blessing nor salvation for the living. It's a curse that robs them of the ability to die. None of those who have become 800-year immortals have found happiness, not one. It renders living among other humans impossible and makes them an outcast from society. Well, we know of one outcast in this specific place. Of course, there are a few years at first when life will be tolerable. But after that, every meeting ends in parting. You outlive whomever you love or are loved by. Even if you find acceptance, it will only be for a time. You will always be shunned eventually. You'll experience this over and over for 800 years. 800 years unable to die, with loneliness as your constant companion. This is why many see no other recourse than a life of monastic seclusion, just as Yao Bikuni did. I suppose that makes sense. Still, there will always be those who seek immortality. Always have, always will be. You think so? I, for one, struggle to see the appeal. In any case, there are also certain conditions that must be met for this curse of immortality to be effective. Eating mermaid's flesh alone isn't enough to make you an 800-year immortal. No, and what exactly are these conditions? Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not aware of the specifics there myself. Oh, really? I think she knows more than she's letting on. But why would she tell him every single fucking thing? A person who has gained an 800-year lifespan after being cursed by a mermaid, someone who ingests part of the body of a mermaid that meets certain conditions, will be cursed and become a being known as an 800-year immortal. Once cursed, the individual's own body is lost, and the provisional body is reconstructed using the part of the mermaid ingested as a medium. The soul is then transferred to this provisional body, which they are able to control as if it were their own, with their consciousness presiding over both their soul and body from the head. As such, they could already be considered to be more spirit in nature than human. Oh, what the fuck? If the individual is fatally wounded or contracts an illness that results in a death, their body will instantly be restored to its default state, allowing them to revive. In the event they lose any body parts, their heart will treat the largest remaining part of them as their main body and regenerate any lost parts from there, with the removed parts subsequently vanishing. This event occurs What? This even occurs in the event that the lost body part is the head. However, these individuals heal from non-fatal wounds at only a slightly faster rate than their bodies would be capable of naturally. As these people feel physical sensations and pain to the same extent as they would have in their original body, it is extremely difficult to tell whether an individual is an 800-year immortal or not unless they die, even for the individual themselves. So we could have immortals running around here that are not aware of the fact that they're immortal. The lifespan of this provisional body is 800 years from the time of its creation. Due to the individual's original body already being lost, not even the mermaid responsible for the original curse is able to dispel it. The individual will only see the end of their long life once 800 years have passed. That's crazy. Why is the mockingbird thingy not going away? Oh, okay. But I can say this much at least. The mummy you have in your position is no mermaid. Hmm? Bullshit. Ain't no way that's anything other than a mermaid. If someone's immortal, not stab them. I don't think we can go around just stabbing people all willy-nilly. What I mean to say is that mummies are a different being from the mermaids who wield this curse. Not all half-fish, half-human beings are mermaids, you see. In fact, calling them all by the same name is what leads to mishaps like this one. Say what? You mean to tell me that's not a mermaid? The real mermaids are a completely separate thing. That's right, which is why I can say with confidence that eating its flesh won't make you immortal. Seems like you weren't bluffing after all. So what is that thing then? There's gotta be some reason you're after it. Well, yeah, it's a human being that was cursed by something else. I imagine that even if you had it dissected and examined, all results would point to it being just a mass of fibers. In other words, nothing more than a man-made fake. Oh! Okay. A fake. There's a very good reason for that. You see, the mummy is merely the corpse of an average human, twisted beyond recognition by the curse of the forsaken fish. Okay, no, never mind, it was. Okay. It was like... Did I already forget? No. No, that's exactly it. It's a human who was turned into a fish. What? Another curse? Another curse wielded by mermaids as it happens. That would be the remains of someone who died under it. It also happens to be the same curse responsible for the mermaids found every few hundred years or so across the country. You see now why you'd rather you handed a mermaid over to us. The poor soul deserves a proper burial, same as anyone else. Surely even you are not so hard-hearted as to deny them that? Curse is this, curse is that. It's all a bunch of huckum if you ask me. Stop using words I don't know! That said, the report I got from the Research Institute earlier said exactly the same thing. Oh right, I take it you already had the mermaid dissected then. They said it was likely a fake, but asked if I wanted them to keep going anyway. I told them to keep at it, but... It should be clear now that you have nothing good to gain from researching that corpse, least of all information on immortality. Won't you consider handing it over? Of course, we could always take you in on charges of abandonment and desecration of a corpse. Alright, have it your way. I'm so glad you've come around. Thank you for your cooperation. Girl, it's not like you had that much choice. You finally come around. I mean, he already dissected the corpse. Jesus Christ. I'll give you the damn mermaid, but in exchange I want you to tell me one thing. What is it? You say there are real mermaids out there. Where are these real mermaids hiding then? I suppose you could call it the eternal world. The eternal world? Yes, mermaids are not creatures of this world, you see. The original home is Ryugu, the domain of the sea god. Ryugu? And how do you get there? I'm sorry to say that the Ryugu's doors are only open to the dead. Going there is impossible for a living human. You could claim anything with a fairy tale like that. It all sounds like hokum. Hokum. That said, the entrance to Ryugu is said to lie somewhere in the Ise Sea. There have been numerous sightings of mermaids crossing over to this world in the area's long history, which is why Ise Bay has its share of mermaid legends too. Now that you mention it, I have heard one of those stories too. Some old tale about mermaids being found on some long-lost island called Taishima or the like. What? Wait a moment, where did you hear that story? Caught your interest, have I? Looks like the story has some merit to it after all. I was simply surprised, that's all. It's not a name I've come across in any historical records. Oh? Taishima, an island said to have previously been located to the south of Kamishima. As it has long since vanished, it is sometimes referred to as Taishima or Lost Island. No official records remain and it remains shrouded in mystery, with knowledge of it preserved only in tales passed down between residents of the Iseshima area. Legends say the island was besieged by someone 400 years prior, and the curse of the murdered islanders caused the entire island to sink. Oh god! It's just something I heard from one of the young'uns I have out there looking for mermaids. I see. Sounds like you got a capable young hand. I don't suppose it would be possible to meet with this individual? Nope, not happening. Unless you're willing to spill the beans on everything you know about mermaids, every last bit of info. Maybe, just maybe, I consider it then. Fuck this guy. It's clear you're no ordinary housewife after all. Not interested, then this meeting is over. I hand the corpse over to the police as promised. But don't think I've given up on mermaids or immortality. If they really exist, I'll find them and make them mine. I don't like this guy. I don't like him. Ooh! Okay. Not likely with many places to go. Data known. Afternoon. Hey, there you too. Sorry for calling you out here when you're so busy. I figured it'd be best to give you the rundown on our findings as soon as possible. It's a problem. Go ahead. Hell yeah. What do we have here? This. It's a post advertising Kamishima. Something about to catch your eye. No, I was just thinking. Surely it would be better to put it somewhere tourists will actually see it. Good point. Maybe there's some posters left over. I'm just trying to see if there's any other bird stickers. Hi, room. Good morning. No, doesn't look like it. Oh, the police box. Just a police box I was waiting at. Something you were wondering about? Oh no, I just happened to find myself looking at it, that's all. Would you rather talk inside? Though there's no air conditioner, so it's probably cooler out here. It's quite alright. Talking out here should be fine. I'm good. I'm hungry. Actually, but other than that, I'm good. Wondering about my suit, are you? Just a cheapo thing. Sorry, I don't have anything more presentable. It's okay. Let's talk. So did you manage to meet up with Mr. Yamashina? Yes, thank you again for your help there. It seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss. I'm not sure I would call that without any fuss, but okay. It's like he already had it dissected, so... Really? That's great. Still, why would some big shot tycoon go to all that trouble to withhold a body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him on charge of desecrating a corpse, you know? Or was it... Oh, there was something special about the corpse. Arrgh! Arrgh! Typos in my freshly released visual novel script. Oh, there. Ah. Observant of you, detective. I can, of course, explain if you'd like to know more. Wait a second. Is it related to a secret department of yours? I think I'm better off not knowing if so. Oh, really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold. Ma'am, please stop trying to rope into helping us. No, get him to help us. What else? I've never met the guy, but he is quite a cranky old cheeser. How'd your meeting go? I bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police, but he didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he? Well, I'm not sure you could say it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him, at least. Probably. You, don't sound very sure about that. Oh, right. That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. So I got all hands on deck to go around asking about that sketch you gave me, and we finally found someone who recognized the victim. Oh, that's great news. The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Apparently the sketch looks like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city. So 7 years ago he was 19, no? From the sounds of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of, left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. She doesn't know what happened to him after that. See, that would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Did we get a name for a mystery man? Sure did. His name was Kipe Ikuma. Kipe Ikuma. Okay. I looked him up in the residence registry, and it does look like he moved from Kumano to Isa City 7 years ago. But it seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. I checked in with the apartment's landlord, and it would seem that about 6 years ago, the landlord had his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. Oh. Well, yeah, alright. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid. If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains. We'll keep looking into Ikuma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always a possibility we've got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case. Please do. Okay. Testimonies indicate that the individual in this sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipe Ikoma who went missing 6 years ago. He's no known relatives. Okay. What else? The woman we spoke to said the sketch was really accurate. No doubt in her mind it was Ikoma. Well, that accurate. Then I'm sure we got the right person. Still, how did she even make that sketch? There was nothing left of the victim but bones. Well, let's just say it's classified for now. Right, guess that means I shouldn't pry any further. Oh yeah, I also looked into the lady you were asking about, Somekawa. Oh yes, did you find anything? Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident even though she moved here 5 years ago. And nothing came up for Somekawa in the civil registry either. So I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint. Well, to be fair, from what we've seen, she might have simply just changed her name, right? And if she's married, she won't be in the registry with her old name. But 5 years ago? It's not. I see. Is that quite common? Happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently it was really common during the post-war growth period. It seems we have quite the mystery woman on our hands. Yep, though there's something I've been wondering about. Oh, let's hear it. What are you wondering about? You have some idea who she might be? Well, have you heard of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years back. I have, yes. One of the victims of that disaster was an ama diver and a housewife from Kamishima by the name of Mare Minakuchi. But it seems her maiden name was Somekawa, that's what I'm saying! So a mystery woman shares a surname with a maritime disaster victim. I'm impressed you managed to dig that up. I was already looking into the Kamishima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence if anything. Oh, so you thought they might be related too. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Anyway, it seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking. Wait, are you saying? Yep. I was thinking Mana Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago. And do you think she then moved to Ichika and started going by her old name of Sumikawa again? That's right. What do you think? It seems like a long shot, but maybe. But if that's the case, why would she have stayed in Ichika for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family? Maybe she lost some memories in the disaster. Right. If she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be that odd if she went back to using her old name. Surely her appearance would still be the same, though. As it is difficult to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years. It's possible she just never ran into anyone she knew. That kind of thing's more likely than you think. Especially from what we knew since when she was living as Minakuchi, she didn't really stay in contact with quite literally anyone. It's also why her son is Sean, so... Speaking of appearances, I found a picture of Mana Minakuchi from a report on a disaster. I haven't met a Sumikawa myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think? Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think so, though? If she'd aged 5 years and grown badly gaunt, I can certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Mrs. Sumikawa. My thoughts exactly. Yeah. It all might be a bad red herring, but I think... So you agree it's a pretty solid theory? It's certainly worth looking into, yes. But if she really is Mana Minakuchi, there's something else that concerns me. Something else. Yeah? This is just what I've heard. But it seems like the islanders over in Kamishima think this Mana Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago. What? Why would they think that? No idea, but it seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back home because of that. Surely not. Seems as good a reason as anyway she wouldn't want to come forward anyway. If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeletal remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first. Can I leave talking to Miss Sumikawa to you three then? Well, assuming we ever meet her again, I don't think she wants to talk to us. We'll handle that, yes. Okay. People believe this Mana Minakuchi called forth the curse of the raging waves 5 years ago, do they? I didn't expect the curse of the raging waves to come up here of all places. Wait. That's it, I remember now. Sole survivor of Taishima, his surname was Sumikawa. There was something else about Sumikawa. A wooden box? Surely that'd be too much of a coincidence. A wooden box? Well, that's about all I had to report. Thank you, Detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, could we ask you to keep looking into Kippei Ikoma for us? Roger that. We'll see if we can find Sumikawa again and hear what she has to say. Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kamishima will have to wait until tomorrow. So it seems. Oh, you had business on Kamishima too? That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes. But now we've gotten caught up in all this other troublesome business, so it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible so I could get back home to my husband. Oh, well. You have some work to do first. I see. You sure are devoted to your husband. Not very much, though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening, anything could be of help. Sure, will do. Though you're kind of making me worried something might actually happen now. I'd certainly be preferred if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting on you, Detective. Okay. Oh. Date unknown. Toba City, Ichika Town. Oh, we're back here. Okay. You think we'll find it at you? Bad news, ma'am. It seems we were a step too late. What do you mean? It seems someone came and took the Sumikawa woman out to sea just a few minutes ago. What? According to the witness, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Sumikawa in town. They then boarded a motorboat that was moored here and headed out into the bay. It didn't appear to be by force, so you can probably assume they knew each other. A foreign man? Not sure what's going on, but we should probably get a boat and follow just in case. Yes, let's see if... Soto, what's wrong? The spiritual force is overwhelming. Oh my god. My body won't move. What's going on? Hello? Girl over there, is she doing this? You can't withstand this curse. You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'll have to ask you to leave. Because knowing garden spirit, grant me the wisdom of the numinous. Oh, hi, guardian spirit, light my path ahead. Girl! Seems like they saved us the effort of searching for them. You're getting Fire Emblem Mage vibes? Yeah, I think it's the purple. It's the purple and the fact that she's glowing. So it seems, let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know. Well... Hello? Hello? Who are you? I could ask the same of you. What do you want with Miss Somikawa? So you know who Miss Somikawa is, do you? Maybe. What's it to you? Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent, but she lacks experience. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my Curse of Binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here. Alright, I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her, so this is as good an opportunity as any. I'll see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she waves, I'll signal for you to use the Curse of Binding. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. On your signal. Use Soto Kiryu's Curse of Binding to restrain your opponent when they let the guard down. Press the Use Curse button to signal to him to use it. You only have 3 chances to use the- Oh god! Okay? Let's threaten her. If you resist anymore, we'll have you taken in for obstruction of public duties. Wait, you with the police? Yes, I am. Despite appearances, yes. Defying us could net you quite a heavy punishment. I see, you must be from Paranormal Affairs. Then I definitely can't do what you say. Ah, damn it, okay. What? One more time? You have quite some nerve standing up to us despite knowing where we're from. Don't think you get off lightly for this. Threatening me won't get you anywhere. You can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right? That's true. Okay. Even though we're from Paranormal Affairs, you kept a straight face and hid your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart. Thanks, I guess. Will you give up now? Nah, there's no need to be so uptight. How about we stop all this and just talk a bit? Not happening. You're just going to use a curse the moment I drop my focus. No! Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Somikawa is a friend of yours, then? So what if he is? Why are you trying to follow them? Alright. We'll back off and leave you be. How does that sound? Oh? You're just trying to get me to drop my guard, aren't you? Not happening. Ah, damn it! Okay, Question? What do you want with Miss Somikawa? I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourselves, don't you? What? What? You know about the relic? I don't know about the relic. What are you saying? We'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some other way to resolve this, Sorry, but that won't work on me. I'm at a rebellious age. Where's the nearest McDonald's? I wish. You're also with Paranormal Affairs, then? Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I suppose this is the trouble with secret departments. Not even their own members recognize each other. What a bother. Oh, that's no, that's the same thing. A constant shift in personality tone would also make me stay on guard. Fair. What else do we have? So we're both from Paranormal Affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some way we can help. I told you I don't know what you're talking about. It's none of your business anyway. I'm running out of options! Hi! Good afternoon. I'll back off and leave you be. How does that sound? No. You have paranormal affairs, but you need the relic yourself, so you're unwilling to cooperate with us. Am I correct? If that's what you think, can you give up already? Okay, sure. Alright, understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. So, though, you can stop now. Ma'am? Really? Thanks. Oh, alright. Bye. Grown-ups and your dirty tricks? Well, I mean... the moment her sprite changed to be like, really? I'm just like, my city now. You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. That's so mean. That's so mean. She's never gonna trust us again, ever. Now, will you tell us what you're up to here? Well, I suppose I've slowed you down enough. You never catch up to the boat now. Black as a steady, guide my path, and with thy merciful hand uphold me. What? She broke the bind. Bye-bye. Oh, God, found it. Stop right there. Looks like she's given us a slip. I doubt we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with Paranormal Affairs about that girl. Oh. Devious adult. I get an achievement for that. I wonder what happens if you fail it. Like if you fail to actually use the curse as soon as she drops her guard. Ah. I put in a call to Paranormal Affairs about our errand young lady just now. I see. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them. Yes, it seems her name is how do you say it? Circe? Lunalight. Oh, that's, okay. Very normal name. She's an exorcist from England who's come here on exchange. Part of her spiritual training, as I understand. The Lunalight family, I see. Oh, are they well known? I've heard of them, yes. They're a distinguished family of exorcists. Quite an old one, too. I would certainly explain the strength of her spirit sense. Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of Paranormal Affairs while she's in Japan. Honestly, I do wish to tell us these things in advance. What's she doing here in Mie Prefecture? Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. They've been looking for her. From the sounds of things, she's been skipping her training assignments to travel around Japan! Visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead. Doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all. Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we next see her. I see. More work for us then. Yes, the things we find ourselves caught up in. She seemed to know about Sumikawa too. I've got a bad feeling about this. Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area. No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we run into each other again eventually. Well, I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head for Kamishima first thing tomorrow. Understood. Alright. Seriously would be high up choice, no name. Maybe even second. Oh. Wait, I do want to see what happens if you fail it, though. Except I forgot what button it is. To skip text. Okay. I don't know. No? This one? No. Okay. I don't know what button is to skip text, so we're just gonna do it manually. It does throw us out on the screen, so I don't think it actually changes anything, but I do want to see what happens if you fail it. Or like fail actually using the curse on her, I guess. Hi Akira, good afternoon. Okay, let's see if there is a difference. What happens if I don't use the curse here? Ah, look, I can just do it again? Okay, if you miss out, you just get to do it again. But you only have 3. They said I only have 3 tries, so what if I fail it 3 times? Was this not the 3rd time? Okay. So there is no difference. Good to know. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Which brings us to the point of how the hell are we supposed to continue? Because everything is locked except for this one. So we have to change something here, probably. Start from after underwater gathering. It's the only one that doesn't have. Check on it. You improve so much, blah blah blah. Okay, and go back immediately. Instead of talking about the hole. So that should change something about the time they're going back. Got it! Kabushima Port, here we come. Hell yeah. Look at that animation! That looks funny. August 7. Hey user, I took your catch to the market while you were changing. Oh thanks, appreciate it. It was a seriously impressive haul for your first dive. The old guys at the market looked like their eyes were gonna pop out. He said us as Kamishima's patron saint of diving sure isn't just for show. Okay, that's enough of that. And thanks for carting all that to the market by yourself. Shit. There you are, Zami. Don't tell me you went out fishing today. Oh, Chia, how's your back doing? Not going to get any better lounging around at home, that's for sure. More importantly, no one's meant to be taking their boats out right now because of the storm that's on the way. Don't tell me you didn't hear. Yeah, but it was more of a warning than a rule, and the weather looked fine, so I figured it was okay. That's the problem. That's the problem with going, oh, the weather looks fine. The moment you're out on the sea, the weather could change so suddenly you have no way of getting out of there. Do not trust the weather looking fine when going out to sea. Just saying. You should know better than that, Asami. You young'uns never listen, do you? Veteran armor diver Chie Toyama. 59 years old, the de facto leader of the armor divers on Kamishima, she's a highly influential figure on the island. She married into a family on Kamishima shortly after the end of the Second World War at the age of 20 and has been working as an armor diver for close to 40 years, rarely missing the opening day of each diving season. She's displayed a natural talent for diving ever since her days as an apprentice, coming to be known as Chia the Mermaid for the deft ease in which she moves through their water. In her heyday, she earned more money than her husband, enough to send all 3 of her sons to university, an achievement that she takes great pride in, and also earned her considerable authority in her household. Now her grandmother to 7! A back injury has led to her being less active than she used to be, but she's still considered one of the most experienced divers on the island. Her graceful swimming shows no signs of decline, continuing to inspire others even now. Her estimated diver rank is 67! 67! Going over the Minakuchi boy of all people. Actually, Asami only took out his boat because I asked him to help out with my work. Wait a second, don't tell me you went out to dive. I did. I was thinking I could follow in Grant's footsteps and become an armor diver. Absolutely not. I won't allow it. What? Why? He's just a member of the association, same as everyone else. As long as he follows the rules, they should be fine, right? Sure, it's rare for guys to become armor divers, but it's not like it's forbidden or anything. That ain't what I'm talking about. They're saying he shouldn't be allowed in the sea. It's obscene is what it is. Damn, girl. Everyone agreed to put up with him being on the island for Tsuya's sake. But now he gets in his head to go diving over things? Have you no sense, boy? Seems like I have to have a few words with Tsuya. You not knowing your place is going to cause everyone trouble. Listen up, Minakuchi boy. You don't even call him by his name. I'm not listening to a thing you're saying. You better keep your head down and stay put on dry land where you belong. No more diving, you hear? No, you don't think that's going a bit far? There's no need to lay into Yuza like that. Asami. What? You really don't think anything of all this, after what his mother did? Nope, not at all. Yuza hasn't done anything wrong. He was a victim of the disaster too, maybe more than anyone else. Recently, there's been a strange rumbling coming from the sea, the same rumbling as 5 years ago. Everyone's scared of what might be coming. They're bracing themselves for another big disaster. Oh, is that what you meant by the storm? The weather forecast said things are going to stay calm for a bit, though. To hell with the weather forecast. It didn't save us 5 years ago. Anyhow, you see why we've got to stay in the God of the Sea's good graces. Not doing anything to upset them, got it? Yeah, whatever. Let it get you down, Yuza. She isn't a bad person at heart, but the old folks are all pretty firm in their beliefs, I guess. Yeah, it's only natural. I was kind of expecting it, to be honest. Still, I didn't think she'd get that mad. Guess they have a bigger chip on their shoulders about all this than I thought. Seems like they really think your mom was to blame for the disaster. Yeah, that's all. Look at him. Look at his face. I guess wanting to get to the bottom of things here was one of my reasons for becoming an armor diver. Good night. Good night, room. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, everyone's been avoiding the topic until now, but I can't go on forever. Hey, you two. Oh, it's Kikuko. Kikuko. Yeah, you two over there. Could I get some help with these boxes here? I need to get them to the warehouse. Local armor diver Kikuko Tsutsui. New characters. 28. A woman born and raised on Kamishima, unmarried. She's known for her friendly, sociable nature and almost sisterly tendencies to look after others, both of which make her a familiar face to many on the island. Ever since her school days, Kikuko harbored a strong desire to leave Kamishima and make a life for herself elsewhere. While most of her classmates began working as armor divers following graduation from middle school, she decided to enroll in a boarding school as a first step towards fulfilling this goal, going on to graduate from a junior college in Aichi Prefecture and then finding a job in general administration at a company in Ise City. However, because her assigned work consisted only of unfulfilling menial tasks like pouring tea and answering calls, she left after only a year. She changed jobs repeatedly over the following years, but found no further luck in subsequent workplaces. Eventually recognizing her success as an armor diver is determined solely by the extent of one's physical prowess and ingenuity, she came to find the idea of such work appealing and moved back to Kamishima 4 years ago. Despite her late start as an armor diver compared to her peers, she leveraged her high athletic ability, a talent which even saw her star in the national athletic meet during her school days, and her innate knack for analytical thinking and research to consistently turn out good results, and she has since earned the respect of even the veteran armor divers of the island. Her estimated diver rank is 14-1. Kikuko has had scant luck with men, having been introduced to several potential partners only to be turned down by all of them. Her parents, anxious for her future, worried that the large birthmark on her face is to blame, but Kikuko herself remains unfazed, citing her lack of interest in marriage as the primary cause, something which has caused them no end of concern. Although she endeavored to hide her birthmark with makeup while at school and during her time as an office worker, she has since embraced it, proudly proclaiming it to be her symbol. Yeah, you shouldn't have to hide a birthmark. Fuck that. Phew, thanks. I knew I could rely on you young'uns to help out. Young'uns? You're a young'un too, Kikuko. Ah, how kind. Pretty sure you're the only ones that say that, though. I was told out of nowhere to make sure anything valuable was stowed away just in case a storm hit. What a pain. So you're getting ready for the storm too? Yep, pretty silly when the weather's this good, huh? It's not like I can say no, though. Speaking of pains, I overheard Shia giving you an earful just now. Are you seriously planning on becoming an armor diver user? Well, that was the plan, but it's looking like I might be forced into retirement before I even begin. Why now? Didn't you come back here to look after Tsuyu? Yes, but I still have to work, and I've always been interested in armor diving. Oh, 35 streak, let's go! Gran was also pretty down about no longer being able to dive, so I thought it might cheer her up a bit. Ah, so you went to follow in Tsuyu's footsteps. Still, you must have noticed that everyone was on edge just at the thought of you coming back here. If they hear you went diving, there'll likely be a bit of an uproar. And it really just set against Yuza going in the sea? I've never heard anyone say anything like that. Well, they don't say it where you can hear it. Everyone loves you here and they know you're close with Yuza. You probably feel they can't be that tough on him with you around. What was that? Oh, never mind. Forget I said anything. No! That sucks. That has to suck so bad. It's like such a small community and you're the one guy who gets ostracized. That sucks. I can't deny there's been this creepy rumbling coming from the sea recently though. It's no wonder everyone's unnerved. If some sort of disaster does end up happening again and Yuza gets caught doing something he wasn't meant to, that will probably be it for him. Yeah, that's what I don't get. Do people seriously believe Yuza's mom caused that storm? Everyone suffered because of it, including Yuza's family. It's so stupid. Hey, I honestly think it's stupid too. But the truth is, there are a bunch of people who believe it, so making a fuss about it isn't going to get you anywhere, right? Besides, even if the storm doesn't come in the end, a different kind of storm may already be brewing. A different kind of storm. Well, you shouldn't have any trouble if you keep your head down. Just be good and do what you're told and no one will get in your case. That's not... Oh, what? You're getting bullied? Oh, just let it... I hate keep your head down so much. Top 10 worst sentences you can tell anyone. Give me a break. Why is he gotta keep his head down here? He was born and raised on Kamishima just like everyone else. Hey, getting mad at me won't change anything. If it upsets you that much, why don't you leave? Leaving a place like this behind might be for the best, don't you think? Maybe, but I can't just ask my gran to move somewhere else at her age. Then you'll just have to put up with it. If you want to blame anyone, blame your mom. Did his mom even do anything 5 years ago? No one wants to tell us anything. No idea. I only came back here after the disaster, so I don't know what happened at the time. Mr. Wakamuna always seems like he knows more than he lets on, though. Now that I think about it, why don't you just ask Tsuyu what she knows? Tsuyu? I've already asked Gran about it countless times. She says she doesn't know anything. And you don't think that's a bit suspicious? If anyone knows something, it would be her, right? You might be right. She is pretty hard to read. I wouldn't be able to tell if she was hiding something anyway. Anyway, I do feel bad for you, but you just gotta grin and bear it, for everyone's sake, yeah? Shut up! You're losing sympathy points with every single thing you say. Thanks for the help, you two. Try to stay out of trouble, okay? Kikoku really seemed like she didn't know anything, huh? The folks are way more on edge than I thought. Yeah, I've gotten a sense I'm not exactly welcome here ever since I came back. But I didn't think trying to make a living here would lead to that much backlash. Didn't realize everyone disliked my mom quite that much, or that they were so suspicious of her. It seems like the timing wasn't great either. Everyone's wound up about these ill omens that are happening right now. Still, I'm sure now that my mom must have had some sort of secret, and I'm almost certain it had to do with what we're looking into. If everyone hears that I went diving today, it might prompt people to start talking about what happened 5 years ago. Oh, so you want to tell people even more? Okay. True, if there's any time to ask about your mom, it's now. I think we should see what old men Wakamuda and Tsuya have to say about all this too. Yeah, assuming Gran agrees to talk about it anyway. I don't think she's gonna want to do that much, but okay, yeah, sure. I guess. Residents of Kamishima are extremely against Yuza becoming an armor diver. Yuza believes that the hidden secret behind his deceased mother, Mare Minakuchi, is the reason for this, and that it is also the key to finding the mermaid, so he begins a full-scale search. Oh boy. Okay. Thank you for the idle time. True, if there's any time to ask about your mom, it's now. I think we should see what old man Wakamuda and Tsuya have to say about all this too. Yeah, assuming Gran likes to talk about it anyway. Yes. Ooh, okay. Many places. Let's go to the places where no one is at yet. Seems like there's a bit of a commotion over there. Maybe they know something about the rumors. Want me to go ask? That'd be great, thanks. Hey, what's up? Did something happen? Oh, it isn't Asami. I don't know if you heard, but 15 minutes later. Welcome back. Man, once I get started, they never stop talking. Anyway, nothing about your mom, I'm afraid, but they did have some interesting things to say. Interesting things. You want the normal news first or the worrying news? Oh god! The normal news? How about the normal news? We got a bunch of tourists visiting right now as usual. But what's really got people talking is that there are 2 foreigners among them today. Oh really? I hear the Issa Grand Shrine sees a lot of foreign visitors, but it's unusual for them to come to the outlying islands like this. What's more, it seems they've been going around asking a bunch of questions. And get this. Apparently they said they've come here looking for mermaids. Mermaids? Curious, right? Right. Yeah, right when we were looking into them too. And that's not all. For some reason they were asking about your mom, Mare Minakuchi too. What? But why would foreign visitors be asking about my mom? Seems like people think they're pretty shady. I was told not to not blah, blah. I was told not to go near them and everything. No, I definitely want to hear what they have to say. I wonder where they are now. They're probably still on Kamishima at least. Well, the question is where. Well, I guess if we see 2 Westerners around, we'll know who they are, yeah? Apparently they're an older man and a young girl. Yeah, I'm sure we know them when we see them. I hope we manage to find them. It's a good thing that, like, the small girl is probably going to be easy to tell because she is blonde. But also, huh? The worrying news. Okay then. There are reports that 2 armor divers have gone missing. Apparently both cases were around Ichika town on the mainland. Oh, were they diving accidents or something? I guess so. It seems it's still under investigation though. The sea hasn't been that rough lately. But I guess it is a dangerous job, so you never know what might happen. Still, 2 armor divers going missing one after another is pretty unusual, so it does make you wonder. It wasn't that long ago there was all that talk of human bones being found in the sea near Toba, you know? I remember that, yeah. Isn't that also near Ichika? Ichika? Maybe this is why she was going on about bad omens. Yeah, it's definitely worrying news. Okay, looks like that's all the info we're going to get around here. Let's try going somewhere else. I wonder if the time it actually takes to go these places is gonna be important, but I will go to all of them. The town clock. Oh! Mr. I don't like his hair. Well, if it isn't Shotaro. Hey there, you two. I'm just the man I wanted to see. You wouldn't happen to have seen Sato around, would you? Sato? No, I haven't seen her today. She was supposed to meet with you earlier, but she never showed. She didn't show? Did something happen? No, I'm sure it was just because of my old man's ridiculous request earlier. Honestly, I don't know what he was thinking. Still, he really has been acting off lately. I can't believe he'd say something like that. Is something wrong? Oh, pardon me, it's nothing for you two to worry about. By the way, Yuza, you've become an armor diver? Yes, but I was told to stop, so I'm currently on extended, if not permanent leave. Oh, don't let it get to you. I, for one, think you should go for it. I imagine everyone's been using your mother as an excuse, saying she brought bad luck to the island or some such. Oh, that's exactly it. Do you know why everyone keeps saying Yuza's mom was a bad omen, Shotaro? Yes, what was it again? Something about her being the Raging Waves curse bearer. The what? Raging Waves? The Raging Waves curse bearer. Raging Waves is, well, not exactly what you think it means, and the curse bearer has the power to call forth the calamity of the sea. My old man was going on about it earlier, but it's probably just superstitious nonsense. Don't pay it any mind. I really should get going. Let me know if you see Sato, okay? See you later. I'm pretty curious about what Shotaro said. Yeah, the Raging Waves curse bearer, huh? People really see my mom that way? Maybe you should ask Mr. Makamura what he knows. Worth a shot, at least. Anyway, let's keep moving. Okay. Huh? Oh no! Tsukasa, Sato, what's going on? Well... I'm sorry, I can't explain right now. Tsukasa, come on, we're drawing too much attention here. Oh no, What was that all about? Something was definitely up with them. Yeah, they practically ran off when they saw us. Tsukasa was crying. What the hell could have happened? Maybe he told her no. I'm worried too, but Sato said she can't explain right now. I'm sure that means to tell us what's up later. True. We shouldn't grill them if they're not ready to talk about it. Still, I get the feeling we probably shouldn't tell Shotaro we saw Sato here. Yeah, let's keep this to ourselves until we learn a bit more. True. Okay. Let's talk to the old man. Bakamura residence. You two again? What are you doing here? She is here too. Chatting about something important right now. Scram. Got no choice but to come back later, huh? Oh man. Okay. Let's try the grandma then. Welcome back, Yusa. Oh, and Nasami's here too. Thanks for having me. You two went out diving today, didn't you? How'd it go? You get a decent haul? Yes! Very! Gran, about that... I was all set up to enjoy the next stage of my life as an armor diver, but I found myself on forced leave the very day of my grand debut. Goodness, did something happen? Yes! Oh my, she and the others said all that. If I were you, I wouldn't pay them any mind. You're not breaking any rules, are you? You sure it's okay? No point fretting over pointless details is what I always say. Grandmother! Tsuyu Minakuchi. She looks nice. 63 years old, Yuza Minakuchi's paternal grandmother and a former armor diver. Born in the Taisho period, she has a relaxed and broad-minded nature, but a tendency not to concern herself with the finer details often makes those around her uneasy. Although now retired due to health issues, she was one of the best armor divers on Kamishima, especially in her younger days, during which she had a fierce rivalry with Chie Toyama, also known as Chie the Mermaid. Later years saw them reconcile, and they could often be seen talking and laughing together at the divers' hut while grilling their catches. She lost her husband in the war when her son, Tosuke Minakuchi, was 3 years old. Aww. Okay. I must have underestimated just how deep tensions run. I never imagined they'd still be that hostile towards her. I thought things would have calmed down by now for sure. I'm sorry, Yuza. It's okay, Gran. Not being allowed to dive isn't the end of the world or anything. But are you sure there isn't a reason no one wants to talk about Mom? Well, no reason I can think of. I'd like to get to the bottom of things there if possible. It's going to affect my life here if I don't, and I'd like to clear Mom's name too. If you don't mind me saying, it does seem pretty weird that people would be this upset just by Yuza coming back to Kamishima. You sure there's not some particular reason they don't like the thought of him going out diving? Oh, no reason I can think of. The exact same answer as before. She's determined to pretend she doesn't know. Gran, I know you've always been reluctant to talk about Mom, but I'm not a child anymore. Isn't it about time you told me the truth? Oh. You really can't think of any reason why everyone has such a problem with Mom? Well... Alright, I'll be honest with you. Mare wasn't actually human. Huh? Huh? You mean we were right? Are you for real? Wait, don't tell me you believe that. Can your voice take a joke? I was obviously kidding. Did all I see want to prick your common sense? Wait, you were joking? Of course I was. I thought I'd mess around a bit and see if I could get a rise out of you, but you sure turned the tables on me. Turning a prank around on me like that, I have nothing more to teach you, young Yuza. And here I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's not good. She said I'm giving us a slip. We're not going to get anything more out of her like this. Maybe she'd be more willing to talk if we had more information. Okay. So, how'd you dive out in the bay go? The dive went perfectly. You may know me only as your grandson Yuza, but in truth I'm a living legend, Kamishima's patron saint of diving. Oh, now that does sound impressive. I was going to leave it at that, but you're serious, aren't you? You've improved by leaps and bounds since I last saw you. Haha! If I was to put it in numbers, you'd be rank 17. Oh, you can tell all that just by looking at me? Your grand's been around the armor diving block, you know? There's nothing more I can teach you. You make a fine armor diver user. Thanks, Gran. I'll do you proud as your successor. So, it was worth it to play the diving minigame. But I've been forbidden from diving for now, so it seems my life as an armor diver will have to wait. No need to fret. I'm sure that'll sort itself out in no time. In time. I don't know about that. Your game was the same as ever, eh? Whatever the case, I'm happy you've chosen to follow my footsteps, Yuza. Good thing I thought to keep Mane's outfit, eh? Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about being able to fit in my mom's clothes at this age. You never did get any tall after middle school, did you? Damn, has my constant diet of fresh seafood meant nothing? It's nothing you need to worry about, Yuza. It doesn't make you any less charming. Do you have any diving advice for me, Gran? Advice, let me see. If you're looking to get a high score in a single dive, you should focus on gathering everything you can, even a small fry. Getting 10 or 15 will earn you a bonus to your final score. If you manage to nab a big catch, switching your focus to bringing in as many small catches as possible should net you a good result. I see, that'll be a great help. Okay. Diving tips. And for a large hole. Gathering more than 10 sea creatures at once will earn you a large hole bonus. A total of 10 or more will give you... Even if you can't find any promising catches, focusing on quantity over quality can still earn you a high score. That is nice. That's good to know, but I don't need that anymore. Anything else? It pulls his brows out of me, but I'm glad you're keen to learn. Let me see. Sometimes you come across areas when diving that are simply brimming with sea creatures. I call them bountiful zones. Bountiful zones, huh? I'd love to see one. On the other hand, areas with lots of starfish are usually picked clean with no sea creatures to speak of. I call those places barren zones. But the more starfish there are, the less sea creatures there will be. Got it. A whop of a catch could still be hiding in a barren zone, of course. Always keep an eye on your surroundings. Ah! Hi, Sammy. It's very good. You're going through the first one to refresh your memory. Oh, but you don't... They're not connected. I don't think you need to go through the first one again. Occasionally you encounter underwater areas teeming with sea creatures. Okay. Nice. What about her condition? So I had to leave early today to go diving, Gran. Was everything okay? How are you feeling? Well, I didn't have much pep in my step today, but it's fine because Sato came over this morning. Oh! She really is a saint, always helping me out with the cooking and cleaning like that. Again, Gran, I know you're fond of her, but you shouldn't rely on her too much. I didn't know Sato was coming over to help out here. Yeah, she and Gran became friends recently, and before I knew it, she was coming over every so often. She's such a nice young lady. She even chats with me about all the latest TV drama developments. She's also a bit naive in some ways, but she's a quick learner, remembers everything I tell her almost instantly. Huh, I had no idea. I said she could relax here a while, but she left early today. I'm glad you're having fun, but make sure to thank her properly sometime, alright? Of course, of course. You're familiar again with the atmosphere and experience. Fair, fair. Though at least, like, so far I haven't randomly died for... No, not randomly, but I haven't died for turning around yet. And most of the game so far has taken place during the day, so it's not as scary. So far, I don't know. I'm always happy to help, you know? There's no need to depend on others so much. I know, but if someone has to help me get things done, I'd rather it was a lovely young girl, you know? And besides, she does a much better job at cooking and cleaning than you do, user. Yeah, I do my best to be a good grandson, and this is the things I get. Oh yeah. Okay, so she's not gonna tell us more about the mom unless we have more information, I guess. Going out again for a bit, Gran. Got it. You two take care, okay? Alright, so let's try the Wakamoto residence again. See if Chi is still there. Haha! Guessing it's today's Sivas. It could also just be fun. I think maybe it just takes longer to like really get going, because we're having a bunch of establishing thingies where it's just like people being familiar with curses and the like, so it's not as scary because they're just like, oh yeah, we need to fix this somehow, and we're trying to find people. And then we have our teenagers here who have nothing to do with the curses so far, like personally. But I'm guessing it just is going to take a little longer to get going. Oh my Wakamura, you mind if we ask you something real quick? And just one thing after another today. What now? Asami and the Minakuchi boy. I heard from Chia you two went out into the bay to do some diving earlier. I've got a bone to pick with you, and there's no time like the present. Okay. Boy, are you serious about wanting to become an ABBA diver? Huh? I thought at first you'd come up here to get my permission to dive. But now I hear you've been running around looking into Mane Minakuchi. What's the meaning of this? Yes, thank you. And what do you think? It's not like that. I really do just want to become an ABBA diver. A likely story. I bet you're looking to clear your ma's name just to get everyone off your back. Am I wrong? Anyway, my point is, no more sticking your nose where it don't belong, got it? And most of all, no becoming an ABBA diver. Local magnate, Shinobu Wakamura. Yeah, oh god. I don't like most of the people on this island. They're all so mean. Get some rest. Have a good night, Timmy. So, if I give up becoming an ABBA diver and fall in line, will you tell me about my mom? A local magnate, this guy. No. No, sniffing around you're doing sure ain't falling in line, that's for sure. Besides, you should be asking Tsuya about all this business, not me. She's gonna know more than I do. Oh? So Tsuya really does know more than she's letting on. Gran said she doesn't know anything about my mom, though. No, so she even said that to you. What do you mean? Well, I don't know that much myself. Tsuya's always been tight-lipped about Mane Minakuchi, where she came from, what her name was. So you've been saying Yuza's mom was to blame for that massive storm, even though you don't know for sure? Tsuya ain't said nothing to deny it. Speaks for itself, don't it? Bruh. That's not how that works. If you don't like what you're hearing, you should go ask Tsuya about it yourself. Okay. Mr. Wakamura, what is the Raging Waves Curse Bearer? What? What'd you hear about that? It's gotta be Shotaro. Boy never could keep his mouth shut. Mirror is some sort of course that whips the waves into a frenzy. Does something like that really exist? It does. Southern Sea disaster 5 years ago was caused by the very same course. And the curse of the raging waves. And your mother, Mari Minakuchi, was the one who brought it down on us. That storm was not a natural disaster, it was entirely preventable. If we'd only stopped her from going to the bay that day, Kamishima would never suffer such a tragedy. What? My mom would never have done something like that. Just because you don't remember don't mean she wasn't up to something out there. As to whether it was intentional or not, who can say? But it don't make a difference either way. I don't get how you can say Miss Made was a curse bearer or whatever if you don't know anything about her. Do you have any proof? Proof? I've got the words of a trustworthy sorcerer backing me up, that's all the proof I need. A sorcerer? You're basing all this on what some woo-woo wizard said? Give me a break. A woo-woo wizard? Can believe what you like, don't change the fact that curses and spirits are as real as anything else. I don't have time to butt heads with you two, but I know what I'm saying is the honest truth. It looks like there's no point trying to change his mind. Old man's as stubborn as a mule. So you really think there's a storm coming and a storm is caused by a curse? Of course I do. Some fellas who said they were with the police dropped by to warn me about it yesterday, in fact. The police? Why would the police be warning you about a curse? I reckon they were just phonies trying to take advantage of the curse for their own benefit. But even you two must have noticed a rumbling coming from the sea over the last few days, right? That's proof the curse of the raging waves is getting stronger. So that's why you've been telling everyone to stop taking their boats out and prepare for a storm? Sure is. Naturally I can't just come out and say it's cause of a curse. There's no telling when or where it'll rear its head. It's too dangerous to go underwater in these circumstances. Even so, we'll have to take our boats out again eventually. We can't keep off the sea forever. You're damn tootin', which is why I gotta find a way to stop the curse as soon as possible. Why would a curse be affecting the sea around here, though? Seems like you two still don't believe me. Fine, let's see if this will change your minds. A long time back, there used to be another island to the south of here, Taishima it was called. Taishima? This is the first I've heard of it. They say it was devastated by an earthquake and tsunami nearly 400 years ago. But the truth of the matter is that raiders overran the island and slaughtered every last one of the people who lived there. The murdered island's resentments gave rise to the curse of the raging waves, and the resulting storm and tsunami sank the island to the bottom of the sea, raiders and all. Is that true? That curse is still roiling around the seas near here to this very day. Just one little push and that storm could come barreling down on Kamishima next. Push? Something that would awaken the islanders' anger again, such as someone who ties to those raiders, say, a descendant of theirs, drawing near to where Taishima was. A descendant? Wait, you're saying my mom was a descendant of the raiders who attacked Taishima? Sure am, and as her son you share her blood. But how could that... Only natural everyone would see you as a bad omen, no? I really don't want you back on the island, you know? Should be grateful I didn't have you shipped back to the mainland on the next ferry. You're telling me that's how everyone's seen Yuza and his faults all this time? It's fine, Asami. Let's hear the rest of what he has to say. I don't like these people! Are you saying the reason the curse of the raging waves reawakened is because I came back to Kamishima? Excuse me 1 second. Nah, there were signs even before you came back, so the direct cause was probably something else. That still don't change the fact you're a bad omen, though. Right, just blame. Just blame something that happened around the same time. How are you even planning to stop the curse? That ain't none of your concern. You just sit tight at home and stay out of my way. I don't want to hear any more about you going out to sea, I'll be clear. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. Should be clear now just how much of a danger you are to the island. Now get yourselves home and stay put. Seems like that's all we're gonna get out of him. Maybe you could ask Tsuya about what we just heard. She might be able to tell us more. That sounds about right. I just want to see if going back to the place we started one does anything. Probably not. Oh! Looks like Shikuko's back. Want to try talking to her again? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Oh. What now? I've had my fill of shady rooms for the day, okay? If you want to talk, let's talk about something fun instead. Something fun? Can you ideas, user? Well, how about this? Oh my god! Something fun! Boxes. About those boxes we helped you with just now, was that the delivery everyone was expecting? Yep, the latest Gamashima merch hot off the presses. I thought so. What do we have this time? Yeah, you want to know? I bet Asami's keen to find out. He's always wearing that t-shirt. Sure am. Gotta show the world how much I love Kamishima. Tourists seem to love that shirt too. You wearing it all the time should make for great advertising. Anyway, the latest addition to our souvenir lineup is this. What is that? A hand mirror? Hey, Mel. Bingo. A specially made hand mirror with a Kamishima design on the back. So, what do you think? It looks great. Why'd you go with another hand mirror, though? Well, mirrors are a pretty prominent symbol of protection for sailors. Comes from the hope that the sea will be as smooth as glass, I guess. There are even regions where mirrors are used as offerings to the sea god. Oh, that's cool. With all these people living on the island and surrounded by the sea, I can see why mirrors are seen as symbols of good fortune here. And it's small enough to fit in your pocket too. It's both cute and practical. Oh no. Well, I'm hoping it works. Oh, you really thought of everything, huh? I've actually been handing these out to ama divers around the island since yesterday. I told them it was a charm and that they should hang on to it for good luck. Oh, so everyone has one. That's kind of nice. Another way to bring us all together. You're an ama diver now too, right, Yuza? Why don't you take one? But I... Oh, right. I don't know if it's okay to count you as a diver given what happened earlier. Like it really matters. We've got plenty, so you should take one too. Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. And mirror! It's no big deal. I don't want you to feel left out or anything. I guess that means Asami's getting one as well. Here you go. Oh, really? I'm always down for more Kamishima merch. Sure thing. Keep it safe and sound in your pocket, and maybe it'll keep you safe too. Aww. Everyone else was really happy to get theirs too. Even your grandma seemed to like it, Yuza. Said she'd be sure to use it from now on. Really? I'm glad to hear it. Oh, okay. Did you go diving today as well, Kikoko? Oh, you mean the whole thing about how we're supposed to stay out of the sea? No one I know is paying attention to that. I took a boat out into the bay from the northern shore, but didn't end up with much to show for it. North Sea, huh? Did anyone go with you? No, I went by myself. Why do you ask? No particular reason, just taking notes for later. I see. You're really serious about becoming an ama diver, huh? Hi, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. It'd be a real shame if you couldn't become one with that enthusiasm. I'd like to help, but the timing's really not the best right now. It's okay. Any information you can give me is helping out. Sorry, I'll help out when things have died down, okay? By the way, Yuza, how much practice did you manage to get in today? Enough to be able to do most things comfortably, I think. For sure. I can tell you've improved a lot just from the way you carry yourself. You must have a real talent for diving if you were able to improve that much in just one day. Well, seeing as the game gives you unlimited time to go back under the water, yeah. Oh, it's pretty impressive you can tell that just by looking at him. I thought of a way I can show my support. If you manage to get a high score of 2,000 points in one diving session, I'll give you a special prize. I have that! Isn't that great, Yuza? What was your high score today again? Let's see. 2031. Totally fucked. It's hilarious, right? Oh no! It's not the issue that I had with my microphone, right? Where Microsoft, for some reason, put it at 50%. Ow. Owie. Oh wow, you really did it. I sure did. Amazing, Yuza. Guess you've earned yourself a prize. Here you go, a rare bird sticker I found while diving the other day. Aha! Another mockingbird, thank you. You lucky dog. I didn't think you'd get a new Buckney bird sticker so soon. Looks like a rare one too. Oh really? Nice. Hehehe. What else? Once you become a proper armor diver, I'll tell you all the good diving spots I have. Okay. I'm gonna ask everything. By the way, have you seen the 2 foreign tourists that we're supposed to be visiting today? Wait a sec. Foreign tourists? Here? Today? No way, what did they look like? Did they have blonde hair? Were they cool? I'm not sure. We don't know that much about it. I guess that means you haven't seen them either, though. Yeah, I guess it didn't come this way. Hey now, you two better not be thinking of following them around to gob. You don't want them to think we're all unsophisticated louts out here, do you? Weren't you just asking whether they were cool or not? I don't know what you're talking about. If you see them, you come and tell me, right? Right? Okay, we will. Okay, you haven't seen them. Sure, I'll be running to those foreigners before they leave. She's not even trying to hide what she really thinks anymore. Okay, have you ever heard of the Curse of the Raging Waves? No? Never heard of it. What is it? Well, we went to talk to Mr. Wakamuna just now. Wait, so you mean the disaster 5 years ago was caused by some curse and that same curse is going to cause the same thing to happen again? So it seems. The hell's he on about? Trying to pass things off as some occult tribe? Don't tell me to believe that rubbish. Well, it did seem pretty believable. Oh, please. He's obviously feeding you a load of nonsense. I don't know if you two are aware, but there are rumors that Old Man's been really into this shady sorcerer recently. A sorcerer? Yeah, some sort of miracle worker over in Tokyo or something. Apparently he'd do anything, they say. That's probably why he's going on about curses and stuff. Shotaro did say he's been behaving oddly recently. Even Shotaro thinks so, then that's got to be it. It's just a hoax? Maybe. You shouldn't pay any mind to that hogwash. Besides, doesn't it bother you that he's trying to pin the disaster on some sort of crazy curse? A little. Oh yeah, there's something I've been wondering for a while. Yeah? Were you the one who came up with the idea for Kamishimaru, Kiku? Nope, can't take credit for that one. Oh, right, I forgot you didn't know, Yusa. Know what? At one point, the local youth organization was trying to come up with souvenir ideas for tourists. Tsukasa stepped up and suggested creating a mascot character for Kamishima. She even drew the design for it. Mascot characters are all the rage nowadays, you know? They're even mascots for the World Expo and the Japan games. Oh, I see. So Tsukasa drew this? I only heard about it after the fact, too. I didn't know she was so good at drawing. And it's not just a cute little turtle. The unique look on his face makes a big impression. Yeah, the old guys who didn't seem too sure about it at first, though. But thanks to Asami's fervent endorsement, it ended up making the cut. I just didn't want Tsukasa's design to go to waste, you know? She put a lot of effort into it. I think it's a great mascot, too, for what it's worth. Oh, interesting. I'm glad I asked. Aha! Some more info. It does look cute. A mascot character created especially for Kamishima as part of the local youth organization efforts to boost the island's economy and strengthen the community. The design selected for the project was envisioned by Tsukasa Abo, a local high school student. As a symbol of Kamishima, it can be seen on a wide variety of merchandise sold in shops on the island, including keychains, flags, and hand towels. A surprising number of tourists have found themselves charmed by the turtle character's peculiar sleepy expression. In Asoda, its merchandise is often in short supply. Cute! There's a bunch of Kamishimaru merch now. Keychains, notepads, you name it. If you want any, just let me know. Okay. Do you have any tips that might help in diving? Hey, now that's basically asking me to give away company secrets for free. Oh, no, I didn't mean anything like that. Just the basics would be helpful. Basics, huh? How about this then? Sometimes your foot can get caught in rocks while you're swimming, so you should always stay aware of your surroundings. Ah, so being too focused on your catch can get you into trouble. That makes sense. If you swim hard enough, you should be able to free yourself, so don't panic too much if it happens, okay? Thanks, I'll be careful. If I'm ever allowed to go diving again, that is. True, that happened. Several times, actually, the fucking getting stuck. See, it's a dangerous place and there's no way of telling what dangers lurk in it says. Be careful to avoid suspicious looking places. If your foot gets stuck between rocks and you can't get out, keep swimming to free yourself. Okay. Anything else? That's all I've got for now. If you want more tips, try asking Suyu. Okay, what about the missing armor divers? Have you heard about the 2 armor divers from the mainland who went missing? Of course I have. They evidently disappeared one right after the other. I guess it's a reminder of just how dangerous the sea can be. Hearing news like this is always pretty sobering. Do you think they were just accidents? Well, some of the other divers think it's a sign that something bad's going to happen. But you should probably keep quiet about this, user. If you start bringing it up, people will get suspicious. That's probably true, yeah. Personally though, I think they were probably just unfortunate accidents. I hope they're both found safe and sound. Okay. Was that all? I'll be getting back to work then. Okay. Thank you. So, now we have more information. We're back! Something else, yes. Mom's curse. By the way, Gran, we just went to talk to Mr. Wakamura and there's something we wanted to ask you about. What was that? My hearing's been a bit off recently, you see. Please don't say that. A lot of armor divers have ear problems, so it's not really a laughing matter. Someone has no sense of humor. So, did you know that everyone thought Mom was the Raging Waves curse bearer? Oh, I'm impressed you managed to say that without stuttering. So you have heard of it before? Drat, me and my big mouth. They said Mom was descended from the ones who first called forth the curse or something like that. And that's why everyone is so concerned with what I get up to. Is it true though? Well, if you know that much, I suppose I can tell you the truth. If I just rest up a bit, I'll be up and around again in no time. I want the 2 of you to come to the Southern Bay later once the sun's gone down. Huh? Why not during the day? Right. Thanks, Gran. You can tell us about it now? I think it'd be easy to show you what I mean. Okay. We'll be at the bay at sundown, but if you're not feeling up to it, don't push yourself, okay? Oh, okay. Now reach your rush row. I'll tell you everything later. You want to prepare yourself for this one. Okay. That's wild. Okay. Where else can I go? Okay, no more info here. What about the Tori gate? No one's here. Okay. Ah! See it. You two again. Still wandering around poking your noses into business you shouldn't be? How's about you stop messing around and just give up already? Nothing you do is gonna make me change my mind. I'm saying this for your sake as much as anyone else, Mina Kuchiboy. Try to understand my position, eh? For my sake. You managed to survive that disaster 5 years ago, so I would call it a miracle even. I wouldn't do to see that miracle go to waste, would it? Maybe I flew off the handle a bit earlier, ended up coming off a bit stronger than I meant to. I can tell you anything about your mother, but believe me when I say it's best you let sleeping dogs lie. That's not helpful. Is this about how Yusa's mom caused the curse? The curse of the raging waves or whatever? So you already know. Heard it all from Shinobu, I'll wager. Do you believe in a curse, Mrs. Chia? Of course I do. At the very least, I know it's not some old wives' tale. I'm not saying you have to believe it too, though. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk bad about the woman or anything, but there was obviously something up with Madame Minakuchi 5 years back. She always seemed anxious and on edge, and then the disaster struck. Might be I'm just reading too much into it, but I can't shake these doubts of mine either. I said it before and I say it again, no diving! My stance hasn't changed a bit, you hear me? Guess that's that. By the by, where did you go diving today? Well. User wanted a particular spot, so we went about 5 kilometers south of the island. Wait, what? What were you thinking, diving in the southern sea of all places? You got even less sense than I thought. You know full well that everyone avoids that area because of the disaster 5 years ago. Yeah, I know. Bazami and I both lost family in the disaster too. We wanted to take the chance to pay our respects. Well, I can't say I don't get how you feel. But the strange rumbling I told you about is coming from the south. Just do me a favor and stay away from the sea, alright? Alright. Ain't gonna get nothing from me there. Okay. I almost forgot to ask, have the 2 foreign tourists come by here at all? Sure did. Some just now, actually. What? Do you know where they went? Looks like they were headed to the lighthouse from what I could tell. The lighthouse, huh? Gotcha.
The lighthouse.
Kamishima Lighthouse. A lighthouse on the eastern side of Kamishima, the narrow passage between Cape Irago and Kamishima has long been known to be difficult to navigate, particularly at night, so much so that it has been featured alongside the whirlpools of Awa and the Ondo no Seto Strait in sailor songs about the most feared waterways. Following its construction in the Meiji era, spurred by reports of warships striking reefs in the area, the lighthouse has continued to stand watch over the waters of the island, ensuring safe passage to all who travel them. You'd think if I just tried to read stuff more slowly, I wouldn't stumble all over the words. And yet, here we are. Don't go following them around just because we don't see many foreign folks around these parts, you hear? I would never. Cheer, we heard that 2 armor divers from the mainland went missing in some sort of accident. You heard right. You think that's a bad omen as well? I do. I'm well aware just how dangerous the sea can be, but 2 divers getting caught up in accidents and going missing one after another? That tells me there's something off with the sea itself. Well done here. You 2 should leave dealing with island matters to Shinobu from now on. Keep your heads down and stay out of trouble, you hear? Yeah. No. That was something. She isn't a bad person at heart, but she sure is stubborn. Yeah.
Aha! I can now go to the lighthouse.
I think we've talked to everyone. Looks like we found them. That looks like them, alright. Excuse me. You rang?
Hello!
Do nice to see me. Could these young islands have come all the way here to talk to us? Welcome, welcome to Kamishima Lighthouse. There's not much here, but please make yourselves at home. Thanks for having us? Why is he the one welcoming us? It's because most people have been avoiding him. He's excited someone finally wants to talk. Oh. Anyway, we were wondering if you could spare a moment to talk. Wait, before you do, shall we play a game? I want to guess why you've come to talk to us. May I? Sure. It's probably safe to assume you know we've been making the rounds here asking questions. Indeed, it was most likely hearing such news that incited you to climb all the way up here to meet us, which means... I've got it. We've almost certainly done something to offend the good people of this island, committed some manner of ill-mannered You must have come to tell us that the lighthouse is off-limits to everyone except authorized personnel. I wouldn't know. I didn't even know we had a lighthouse until like 3 seconds ago, but also I will be right back. 1 second.
The lighthouse.
Bing. Bing bong bong. Bing. Actually, no. I love the faces in this game so much. The bitter taste of failure, and thus does my stint as aspiring detective end in ignominy. I'd say the whole show was kind of a social faux pas, at least. Don't worry, he's always like this. He bounces back in no time. I see. He must be pretty resilient. Since you didn't guess right, do you mind if I continue? Oh, asking my permission, are we? Well then, by all means, permission granted. Thank you, Ah, yes, my name is Arnav Barnum. You can call me Avi as a sign of our newfound friendship. And also because I like it better. Avi. Arnav Barnum. Tourist! Arnav Barnum. Okay then, Avi. Ah, such a pleasing ring to it. And what can I do for you, young man? Would this girl be your daughter? Not quite. Miss Circe, Lunalight, here's a distant relative of mine. Distant relative sounds like you're not at all related, I'll just say that.
I think you will like this. I went the pet in the safe.
Yes, Miss Circe Lunalight would be me. Nice to meet you.
Thirsty.
I'm Yuzumi Nokuchi, a resident of Kamishima, and this is... A brain cell did not help. No, it's a brain cell, not the brain cell. Asami Kumoi, nice to meet you. You sent Asami, eh? Pleasure's mine. Wait, Minakuchi! Oh, so we piqued your interest, have we? I'm a fantasy writer by trade, with a reach spanning the Atlantic from bonny England to vast America. Not that any of his books sell at all. That's right. For some reason, no one buys my novels. Quite the mystery, no? Alas, a fantasy writer has no need for mysteries. What's that? I earn more as an occult writer, so that might as well be my main job now. Humbug, I say! Stick a sock in it and mind your own beeswax. What the fuck are we saying? I see. In any case, I'm just your average free spirit, footloose, fancy-free, and all that. What's that? You're wondering if my bohemian nature is the reason I remain unattached and unwed? Humbug, I say! Stick a sock in it and mind your own beeswax. You seem to be enjoying yourself. I am indeed. Why not give it a try yourself? 1, 2, 3. Humbug! I'm good, actually. Thanks. What the fuck? Impressive as it is, I can see doing this pose 3 times might have been a bit much, yes. This guy sure is hard to keep up with. At any rate, I recently found myself with a pressing need to visit your fair country for research. Fortunately, young Circe here just happened to be studying in Japan and kindly agreed to accompany me as my guide. Your guide? Indeed, she's quite the enthusiast when it comes to Japanese folklore and occult phenomenon, and such a pleasure to converse with as well. Isashima is a deeply spiritual region, full of sacred places. I always wanted to visit. Past collection and recollection chapter available, honor of Barnum and question mark. It will unlock once all conditions are met. Interesting.
Ah!
What did you say before that? We traveled around the mainland before coming here, but this place sounds above and beyond. My nose almost started bleeding from the acceleration. In fact, I think it did a bit. Oh, okay. You must have been really excited, huh? Is this really that special compared to other places? Of course, it wasn't called the land where they repair the waste from the eternal world for nothing, you know? The land where they what? Sis, you'd never heard it called that? It said that Yamato Hime no Mikoto, the Empress of ancient Japan, was searching for a suitable place to enshrine Amaterasu 2,000 years ago. She received a divine revelation that the ways around Issa province came from the eternal world, which led her to establish the Issa Grand Shrine. This eternal world is a separate realm from the world in which we live. Some describe it as perpetual paradise. Oh, you're gonna have to slow down a bit. What does that mean exactly? We learned about it in our local history classes, remember? Yeah, I think I remember. Sorta. Basically, it's just a sacred place, even the ancient gods took a liking to it, right? Exactly. It's such an enchanting vibe. Just being here is enough to have my nose gushing all day long. You should get that checked out. But the residents wouldn't be feeling too hot if our noses kept bleeding all the time. One thing's for sure though, you seem to really like Isashima. As a local, I'm super happy to hear that. Arnav Barnum, author, occult journalist, 40 years old, nickname Avi, a fantasy author and occult journalist whose books are published in both America and England, but they apparently don't sell well. Unmarried, he has apparently come to Japan in search of mermaids. Circe Lunalight, exchange student, 15 years old, a young girl from England currently on exchange in Japan. She seems to have an ardent interest in Japanese folklore and occult stories. And apparently both of them are able to just speak Japanese?
Will you be staying on Kamishima tonight? If you need somewhere to stay, I know a few places. We've actually already booked a guest house back on the mainland. We'll be taking the last ferry back after this. Oh, I guess you don't have much time left then, huh? So what brings you to Kamishima today? I'm glad you asked, young user. We were hoping to pick your brains on the topic as well. There wouldn't happen to be any legends concerning mermaids passed down on this island, would there? So you really are looking for mermaids? Kind of funny. Yes! The jelly. They're very jiggly, I like them. Oh, indeed we are. You know what mermaids are, yes? I refer, of course, to the mythical half-human, half-fish creatures. How? Sure, we know that much at least. Then I may be able to provide a modicum of additional information on the subject. Speaking Japanese is a very basic skill set, as everyone knows, especially in 1980-something, when you're just a tourist in the middle of nowhere. And the other way around. Ow! Ouchie. Additional information. Well, you may be aware that the typical Western mermaid is envisioned as having the lower half of a fish and the top half of a human woman. It's thought that this interpretation has its origins in another sea monster, the sirens of Greek mythology. Their claim to fame is surfacing near reefs and bewitching sailors with their beautiful voices. Andersen's fairy tale The Little Mermaid is a famous example of this type of mermaid. Indeed, it caused this image to enter common knowledge. Yes! I think that's the one most people would be aware of in general. Even if not necessarily Hans Christian Andersen's original tale, but like The Little Mermaid as it has been adapted by Disney nowadays. Yeah, that's what comes to mind when I think of mermaids too. A typical mermaid, right? But the mermaid that appears in ancient Japanese folklore is quite different. This mermaid has only the head of a human, with the rest of its body being a fish. It appears it was seen more as an evil spirit or a yokai in nature. The legend that eating its flesh will grant immortality also implies that it was seen as more fish than human. Sure, that makes sense. People would definitely think twice about eating something like a human, huh? This isn't to say there's a difference in Eastern and Western interpretations of mermaids, mind you. One could rather assume that there are several different types of creature that can be encompassed by the term mermaid. After all, there were also reports of more humanoid or demi-human mermaids being sighted in Japan in later years. Different types of mermaids, huh? Personally, I think lumping the two under the same appellation is a mistake. After all, they're two different creatures that just happen to share the same trait of being half fish, half human. It leads to misunderstandings and conflicting stories get passed down, and then the whole concept gets treated as a cold malarkey. I think I see what you mean. Listen to you talk about them, it sounds like you believe mermaids really exist, Abby. Well, of course I do. After all, I didn't come to research mermaids, I came to look for mermaids. Bum bum bum! This is all very compelling. Isn't it? I think that's the first time someone's agreed with me on the matter. But why are you looking for them? And that brings me to my next question. You wouldn't happen to have any local info on mermaids, would you? Unfortunately, I've never heard of any folklore about mermaids here. I see. That would align with the answers we've received to our other inquiries thus far. And it would seem our investigation has run unless as certified weirdos, most everyone now turns as a blind eye as well as a deaf ear. Well, it's probably not just because of that. I mean, isn't there supposed to be a huge occult craze going on in Japan right now? I assumed everyone would be jumping at the chance to discuss cryptids. Pretty sure there's just a small group of enthusiasts getting worked up. A very vocal minority, yeah? If you're that interested in the occult, what brought you all the way to Kamishima? Do you have a reason to believe mermaids could be found here? An excellent question, I do indeed. More precisely, I had reason to believe they could be found around Taishima, an island that no longer exists. Taishima? Indeed, I obtained this information through personal research, so I imagine it's not common knowledge. But some say there were 3 mermaids, Sobae, Nagame, and Hayase, living in the seas around Taishima 400 or so years ago. 3 of them? And you even know their names? We didn't even know Taishima existed until today. It seems a deliberate decision was made not to leave any records of Taishima's existence, but would obviously want to believe something is being concealed. On that note, did you know the records remain of several other sightings of mermaids in Ise Bay? What? Really? That's right. Legends about mermaids exist throughout Japan, and this region is no exception. In particular, there are reports of mermaids having been discovered in Sioux City and Ise City, both of which border Ise Bay.
Oh, I had no idea.
I jotted down some notes on these legends, so please take a look if you're interested.
Oh, wait, always!
Ise Bay Mermaid Legend, The Mermaids of Bitzel. According to the Kukon Chomonju, a collection of notable tales old and new, an anthology of spoken stories compiled in the 13th century, 3 mermaids were discovered caught in a fisherman's net in Betsu in Ise Province, modern-day Nakabeppo, Kawage Town in Sioux City. The mermaid of Futamigaura. There are a total of 6 mermaid sightings mentioned in the Kagenki, the ancient annals of Horyuji Temple, covering the latter half of the Kamakura period to the Nambukucho period. One of these entries describes a mermaid sighting in Futami, Ise Province, modern-day Futami Town in Ise City, in the second year of the Embun era, 1357. The mermaid was subsequently named Enmeiju, a name composed of characters affiliated with long life. Ano Town's Yao Bikuni, although the exact time period is unclear, legends tell of a girl named Osato from Kusawa in Ano Town of H district, who became immortal after eating the flesh of a mermaid and went on to become Yao Bikuni, a nun who lived for 800 years. And the 3 mermaids of Taishima, while this information is not recorded in any literature according to Abi's research, 3 mermaids, Sobae, Nagame, and Hayase, purportedly lived on Taishima, an island said to have sunk about 400 years ago. Is that going to be on the test? Thanks, this is all very interesting. Because there's no way I will remember every single one of those names. So which type of mermaid are you looking for, Abi? Well, it seems a lot of the mermaid sightings around Ise Bay were fish mermaids. Fish mermaids. But the mermaids sighted around Taishima were apparently the human mermaid sort. So it stands to reason that any mermaids around here would be human mermaids as well. By human mermaids, you mean the sort that are closer to humans than fish, right? Indeed. The ones closer to fish, meanwhile, known as fish mermaids. Well, that's what I call them anyway. I see. I don't know whether that makes it easier to understand or more complicated. No, I think it's actually very easy to tell what he means. In that case, mermaids whose flesh would make you immortal if you eat it would have to be fish mermaids then, right? Another fine question. It is indeed difficult to imagine people eating the flesh of human mermaids. But I personally believe that human mermaids also have the power to bestow immortality on people. Oh, I wonder. How about another refresh on myth and legend? Are either of you familiar with a place called Ryugu? Ryugu? Is it related to the Ryugu Palace that appears in the tale of Urashima Taro? Just so! It could well be considered the inspiration for the Undersea Palace in that familiar fairy tale. Oh, I was right. Oh my goodness. Tale of Urashima Taro. Yoshitsushi Tsukioka Urashima Taro returning home from the Palace of the Dragon King, excerpt adapted from the Tokyo Metropolitan Library collection. Long, long ago, a youth by the name of Urashima Taro lived in a village by the sea. One day, upon rescuing a sea turtle that was being bullied on the beach, Taro was amazed when the turtle thanked him by inviting him to Ryugu Palace, the legendary undersea palace of the Dragon King, as a token of gratitude for his kindness. Ryugu Palace was a wondrous place with a beauty unlike anything found in the surface world. The princess of Ryugu Palace, Otohime, received him with great hospitality. Taro spent his days treated to elegant dances performed by sea breams and flounders, and satisfied by extravagant feasts, spending his days as if in a dream. After spending some time enjoying this luxurious lifestyle, Taro began to miss his village. He asked Otohime for permission to return home, and although sad to see him go, the princess granted his request. As a parting gift, she handed him a mysterious box, a tamatebako, but warned him never to open it. Thinking it strange, but agreeing to Otohime's request nonetheless, Taro accepted the tamatebako and set out back towards his village on Turtleback. Upon reaching his village, Taro realized everything was different. The house he had lived in was gone, and there was no sign of his parents or anyone he had known. What he had believed to be just a short sojourn in Ryugu Palace had in fact been several hundred years on the surface, and the village and people he had once known were no more. Overcome with despair, Taro turned to the tamatebako he had been gifted in a final grasp at hope. As he opened the box, a thick white smoke engulfed him, and in that instant, the hundreds of years that had passed caught up with him, turning him into an old man. An old man, and then immediately having him die if it's been several hundreds of years, no? The Ryu, dragon, surely refers to the god of the sea. It's not uncommon for deities associated with water to be serpentine in nature. This would then make Ryugu the palace where the god of the sea resides, the palace of the Dragon King. You think you recently heard a similar tale? I mean, barely similar. I mean, what I have to think of immediately is the Final Fantasy XIV dungeon. But obviously, the similar idea has been adopted many times. Huh, I had no idea Ryugu Palace was based on something else. And Ryugu is known for being home to the priestesses who attend the god of the sea. These women are collectively referred to as Otohime. Oh yeah, Princess Otohime appeared in the tale of Urashima Taro, didn't she? Yeah, but she was described as the ruler of the Ryugu Palace in a fairy tale, so she was actually a priestess? A slight embellishment to make for a more interesting story, I assume. Hardly uncommon. There's also another interesting theory about the Otohime of Ryugu. It's said that they were half fish, half human women in appearance. In other words, they were mermaids. Ah. That's what... but what's that I hear you say? That's all well and good, but where's this Ryugu Palace anyway? You're to know? You're dying to know, aren't you? Very well then. Take it away, Susie. Right. As a matter of fact, Ryugu is said to be the exact same place as the Eternal World I mentioned earlier. Really? In other words, the sea around Issa, which is said to consist of waves from the Eternal World, is in fact the location of Ryugu. And Ryugu is home to the Otohime mermaids, right? That's right. What's more, as priestesses who live in a land said to be an eternal paradise, it would be that odd if they had some sort of power to grant immortality to humans. Even in the tale of Urashima Taro, Princess Otohime displayed an ability to influence the physical age of other people using the tamatebako. Matebako. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta! The box! If the story has its basis in the ability of mermaids to influence human lifespans, that power of hers makes a lot more sense, don't you think? See, so that's why you think human mermaids are able to grant immortality even without eating their flesh. Aha, you see, intriguing, is it not? Now, how would you even get to Ryugu? Nah, what creature was responsible for bringing Urashima Taro to Ryugu in the eponymous tale? That's right, a turtle or Kame. And what is the name of the island we're currently standing upon? Oh, Kamishima. And there you have the reason for our visit. So you believe there might be some clue as to how to get to Ryugu hidden on Kamishima. Could Kamishima really have some sort of link to Ryugu? Oh my god, so many updates. Tales of Ryugu, the abode of the god of the sea, exist in every area of Japan. Posited by some theories to be the eternal world of legend, it is said to be a perpetual paradise connected to this world via the seabed that bestows everlasting youth and unnatural longevity to those who live there. Some tales also equate Ryugu with the underworld, the place where the dead journey after death. Tale of Urashima Taro about a youth who was invited to the seafood palace of Ryugu as thanks for rescuing a turtle led to Ryugu's name becoming widely known throughout the country. In the story, a princess called Otohime serves as a ruler of Ryugu place, but Otohime originally referred to priestesses serving the god of the sea who presided over Ryugu. I mean, yes! Of course I remember! I will never forget again because it's just so... It's like... It's one of those words that I'll just have to... I don't know. It's probably going to follow me forever. Okay. By the way, Yuza. Yes? You said your name was Yuza Minakuchi, correct? Yes, that's right. Are you familiar with an individual by the name of Mane Minakuchi? Yeah. The longevity of the term longevity within the man. No! Huh? Mane Minakuchi was my mom. She passed away in an accident 5 years ago. Ah, I apologize for the indiscretion. My condolences. 5 years ago, You wouldn't happen to have inherited anything from your mother, would you? No? What do you mean? Why do you know about my mom? Could you have had some sort of connection to mermaids? Ah, well, this is more related to my personal research, so I can't say for sure. Please tell me. I'm also looking for mermaids. If you know anything, I have to know. Well, now you've certainly grown lively all of a sudden. Let's calm down a bit, Regrettably, the only lead I have is a rumor that suggests some connection between mermaids and Manami Nakuchi. A rumor? From where? Oh, you want to know? Well, I suppose you would, wouldn't you? Very well, I'll tell you. I heard it from a descendant of the islanders who used to call Taishima home. What? So someone survived the disaster that sank Taishima and their descendants are still around today? Long story short, yes. Isn't it fascinating? This particular individual was also the one who told me about the 3 mermaids who were said to have lived on Taishima. I see. By the by, if you're also seeking mermaids, you must have some information of your own, yes? Surely this one-sided exchange of knowledge wounds your good conscience. Allow me to remedy that by accepting any information you have. Yusa. Yeah, it's our best lead yet. Let's share what information we can. You see... Blah, 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 blah. Huh. So you were saved by a mermaid during the disaster 5 years ago. And you believe the mermaid in question might have been your mother. We should have got something. Yeah, I know it sounds pretty far-fetched. And I know some of it probably comes from me wanting her to still be alive. Oh, no, on the contrary. I find it very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Why, you ask? Why? There's a rumor about one of the 3 mermaids who used to live around Taishima. They say she took on human form several decades ago and has lived among humans ever since. What? No way. That would fit perfectly with our theory. Call me surprised as well. This is my surprise face, by the way. What is wrong with this guy? But it would be very interesting if that was the case. Sorry, Avi. I think I'm at my limit. Oh my, that bad is it? Is something wrong? My apologies. As much as I wish we could talk more, it would appear we're out of time. I'm afraid we must bid you goodbye for today. Now that you mention it, if you're looking to make the last ferry, you probably want to be heading back soon. Wait, this is the most promising lead we found. If you could stay just a bit longer. Believe me, I'd love to continue our chat too, but the little lady's been feeling a bit under the weather ever since arriving here, you see. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're not going to get in at the nosebleed. If you're feeling that bad, maybe you should stay for the night after all. Thank you. I'm just about holding the nosebleed in. But I really should get off the island as soon as possible. Ever since arriving here, I've had this feeling that some terrible calamity is approaching. A calamity? You can't mean... I forgot to mention, young Cersei is a bit sensitive to things in that sphere, if you catch my drift. Oh, okay, but... As reluctant as I am to part ways, we really must go. Many thanks for the information you shared, and never fear, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yusa. I'm sorry, excuse me. Avi! You rang? If you happen to find any more leads on mermaids today, could you let me know as soon as possible, please? Oh, I didn't expect you to be all that interested. Very well, if I hear anything else, I'll be sure to let you know. If you could give me your contact information, perhaps? Thank you. I mean, yeah, you should have swapped contact information in the first place if you want to meet up tomorrow. That sure was a stroke of good luck. I never thought they'd have so much info for us. We must sure learn a lot, but it seems like getting any more from them today will be a bit tough. I really need that information by tomorrow, though. What is happening with him that he needs it by tomorrow, and where are we supposed to go? Home? Hi. No. Bye. Nom, 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 nom. I don't want to eat any mermaid flesh. No one here? No one here? Kamuna. Oh good, he's completely climbed up. Oh, okay. He doesn't want to talk to us. What about her again? You wanted to chat a bit more? Yeah. Okay, no. We could have told her about them leaving for today, but I guess not. Where else am I supposed to go then? Ah, this is... okay. Looks like the sun's starting to set. Why don't we go over what we've learned so far? Yeah, good idea. First we learned that my mom was considered cursed by some of the islanders. Yeah, they said she was descended from the person who originally called forth the curse of the raging waves or something like that. And because he thinks the curse is about to break out again, Mr. Bakamune is currently trying to find a way to stop it. Not everyone on the island believes in it though. Kikoko and Chotaro didn't seem to believe in it at all, yeah. We also managed to speak with those two foreigners who were looking for mermaids. They're sure were full of surprises. And there's also that rumor about mermaids living near Taishima, a nearby island that was destroyed, and now one of them assumed human form. I never thought we'd find something to support the idea that my mom might have been a mermaid. Whatever else we may have learned from this, the mermaid that I encountered 5 years ago may very well have been one of those three living near Taishima. We also got some hints about where those mermaids might have come from. Yeah, there's a good chance they originally came from an otherworldly place called Ryugu. If they're in a place like that, I don't see how we could ever get to them though. But that girl said about a calamity approaching is bothering me a bit too. There's no way she should know about the curse of the raging waves, right? Do you think that means the curse is real after all? Oh, Sammy, I just realized something. Yeah? If the curse of the raging waves is in danger of breaking out again, then wouldn't that mean its curse bearer is still around today? Damn, you're right! But your mom is, well, not with us anymore. Mr. Nakamura seems to think it wasn't the direct cause of the curse reappearing too. I wasn't the direct cause of the curse reappearing too. Yeah, he'd probably be coming down on you even harder if he thought you were. So the person responsible would be someone who wasn't here 5 years ago, but is here now. Well, assuming the curse is real anyway. Yeah. Still, I really do wonder if my mom had some sort of link with mermaids. I hope whatever Gran has to tell us sheds some light on things. You mean what she's planning to tell us at the bay tonight, yeah? What's wrong? There's a bunch of noise coming from Chuo Street. I think I heard screaming! Let's go. Oh boy. What? Why? Oh god, oh, there's a lot of people. What happened? What's wrong? Takasa, what's going on? I don't... We were just... But then Sato just... Yuza, look over there. What? Huh? Oh! Sato, there's blood everywhere. What happened? She's not moving. Don't tell me she's dead. Sato just suddenly... We were just... But then she got cut down. Whatever it was, we gotta get her to the clinic. Wait, what's happening? Her wound is... oh! The wound is gone. I mean... So much further, maybe we just need to stab someone who we think is a mermaid? Sato, you okay? Sato? Oh! What's that? Oh! Oh! Yay! Okay. Satoshi Nanami was mysteriously cut down, yet moments later she resurrected before her friend's very eyes. As confusion engulfs the island, Yuza and Asami head out to meet Yuza's grandmother, Tsuyumi Noguchi, at their appointed time and place. Oh, are we really just leaving? Just randomly gets back up again. It's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Several hours later. Sorry to keep you waiting, Yuza. It's nearly time to meet up with Tsuyu, yeah? Let's head that way. Right. The whole island was in an uproar after that. We didn't even get to ask Sato what happened. Yeah, apparently she shut herself up in a room with the Bakamuras and hasn't come out since. What the hell was that, though? And how did she even get hurt like that in the first place? Some of the islanders were kicking up a real fuss, saying that Sato isn't human, that she's something evil or should be chased off the island. But everyone settled down after Mr. Bakamuna stepped in and promised to handle it. Everyone on the island's probably heard about it by now, though. It'll be all anyone can talk about for a while yet. Did you go back home afterwards, Yuza? No, I stayed out to do some digging. Gran wasn't at home anyway. She hasn't recovered enough to be able to move around that much, though, so I'm pretty worried. Yeah. You think I'll promise to meet with her at the base so long? Let's go and see. It better be! Oh boy. I don't like it when we meet up with people and they're turned around, because half the time that just means they're gonna, you know, turn towards us and their face is gonna be some grotesque otherworldly thing. Oh good, she's here. Gran, is your leg okay? Oh no, I don't like it. Gran, it's me. Oh. Oh, you look human still. But you two came after. The waves were so loud I couldn't hear you for a second. What are you doing over there, Gran? This is where it's hidden. Hidden? What is? Oh. Okay. But Mare, your mother left us. My mom? Yes, so, Yuza, have you heard of an island called Taishima? Yes, actually. It's been mentioned like 15 times today. Taishima? Hello? Huh? Gran? Gran? Tsuyu, what's wrong? She's hurt bad. We have to stop the bleeding. Huh? What are you two doing over there? Hiko, this isn't what... She just suddenly... Is that Tsuyu? No, you couldn't have. Oh, God. Wait. She's totally got the wrong idea. It's too late, Gran. She's got no pulse. Oh, it's too deep. It almost cut her clean in half. She never stood a chance. I'll go get someone. You stay here with Tsuyu, Yuza. No, it's alright. I'll come with you. What's going on? Someone get the clinic doctor. Oh my god. This is old lady Nakamura. What the hell's happening? I hear screaming from down there too. Come on, let's go. Everyone's getting cut down. Oh my god. No way, even she? Someone help, 2 more people collapsed over here. What's happening? Help me, I don't want to die. Damn it, there are too many victims. We aren't going to have enough people to help at this rate. They're more over here too. What the hell is happening? Is that Kikoko? It got her too? Someone tell me what's going on. What's the deep gashes appearing out of nowhere? This isn't right. There's no way this is normal. Is it a virus? Is there really a curse? A virus that makes people explode suddenly from their waist? Those affected by the phenomenon died instantly. The strange calamity that had suddenly descended on Kamishima plunged the island into a panic. In no knowledge of the cause or reason, there was nothing that could be done to prevent it, and the massacre continued unabated for a time. A virus that stabs you! The survivors were seized with fear. Some ran to escape, some simply broke down, some flew into a wild rage. A frenzied chaos swept over the island. A short while later... At least we were able to meet up with Tsukasa. But what the hell's going on? The whole island's in an uproar. Everyone's so panicked we couldn't find anyone who could talk straight. Who could blame them? No one knows who'll be affected next. It's probably best to hide here until things settle down. You okay, Tsukasa? No, I have no idea whether my mom's safe or not. I wasn't able to find Sato either. I'm so worried about her. Old man Wakamura said he'd handle things, so I hope she managed to make it back home at least. Hey, do you think Sato's wound healing up like that has anything to do with what just happened? We felt of prying into Sato's past up to now, but maybe that won't fly anymore. Come to think, didn't this whole curse of the raging waves mess up when Sato came to Kamishima? Don't say that. This isn't Sato's fault, she's just a normal girl. I won't let anyone say anything bad about her, not even you, Asami. Sorry, Tsukasa, I didn't mean anything by it. I wasn't thinking straight. I mean, I never thought something like this was really possible either. Huh? Something like what? Do you have some idea what could have caused this? Well, a little while ago when we were at Old Man Wakamuna's place, some guy phoned and threatened to kill all the women of Kamishima with a curse. Another curse? Who was it? What did he want? I don't really know. He said something about no mercy, just punishment for anyone who defies him. It was really creepy. What the hell? Most people had to die just so some guy didn't get what he wanted? Old Man Wakamura said he'd do something to stop the raging waves curse, but things just got worse instead. Asami, calm down. It's no use getting mad at me. You're right. Sorry, Tsukasa. I guess I got a bit heated. Even so, that means those gashes were deliberately caused by someone using a curse, right? So they're the one responsible for all this. Right. Even if the massacre was caused by something supernatural, someone made it happen. About that, something's been bugging me about this whole thing. What do you mean? It did seem like the victims were being targeted at random somehow. They were all women for a start, so I was trying to think of some kind of common point that would tie them together. That's not Tsukasa, sharp as ever, so what were you thinking? Could they have been targeted because they were armor divers? I was about to say. From what we know, the grandma was an armor diver, the Chia was an armor diver, Kikuko was. The one old lady we don't know, but I am assuming. Now that you mention it, weren't all the victims we saw on the way here armor divers? Though, I guess most of the women in Kamishima have at least some armor diving experience. But they went after Sato first, right? That wouldn't fit. Oh, you're right. Sato isn't an armor diver. I was pretty worried Yuza and I might be targeted as well, but I guess we can breathe a bit easier now. We still don't know what the conditions are, though. None of us are out of the woods yet. Hey, the victims were only women. Could the killer have been using this to find the targets? But that would mean the culprit is... What's up, user? You figure something out? Ah! Huh? Okay. What? User, your head, it's... I see, as soon as you figure it out, you get stabbed. Oh, hello. Well done in your efforts thus far. I regret to say that it seems the mysterious attack that befell Kamishima has resulted in Yuza Minaguchi quite literally losing his head. There's nothing more we can do here, so let us bring this chapter to a close. I won't realize even if you say it. For now, we return to the story chart where you may proceed with a different route. I wish you the best of luck on your journey. He might not have noticed his head missing. Sacrifice? Discovering the mermaids? Arriving on Kamishima. I am kind of tempted to jump into hers, but I think going further back to them arriving on Kamishima might be the smarter move. Because I highly doubt this is going to tell us anything in the first place. Son of Barmanum, a cheerful fantasy author, sets off on a trip to visit the mermaid legends of Issa Bay with his relative Circe Lunar Light as his guide. Okay. Date unknown. We go from happy funny murder time to yay! In a second. Two nurses, yeah. After much hustle and bustle, we finally managed to make our way to Issa Bay. Nice. Take it all in now. We're standing on the coast of Nakabeppo in Mie Prefecture's Kawage Town. And then we need a drink. Which means this is the Sea of Issa, the connection to the eternal world. How amazing. Naka Bitcoin. Indeed it is. Come, Circe. Henceforth begins our grand adventure in search of the legendary mermaids of Issa Bay. How amazing. I just can't stop saying it. Without further ado, my name is Arnav Burnham, an American-born fantasy author. Please call me Avi. Who are you introducing yourself to, weirdo? Oh, well, I simply thought a new beginning called for a little dramatic flair, you know? Sure. With that out of the way, perhaps my darling guide can provide some insight into the goings-on of this locate. Oh, God. Sure, I've got you covered. Oh my God. They've even made it so you can see how hot it is. Fun. While this area is now called Nakabeppo, long ago it was a region of Issa province known as Betsuho. Records indicate that 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net along this coast back in the Heian period. Nah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's hear more about those mermaids. They had human heads with the mouths of monkeys and the teeth and bodies of fish, and they spoke and even shed tears like humans. Could these be the fish mermaids you mentioned before, Abby? Indubitably, yes, this must be the place. I'm getting goosebumps. I feel the same way. This is so exciting. I kind of forget having given her this voice, because especially now it's just the two of them, it's like going from the one extreme of trying to have her sound to Betsuho is the old name for the area now known as Nakabeppo Kawage Town in the Age district. So named during the events of the story, it has since been merged with Tsu City of Mie Prefecture. Said to have been the territory of Taira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori, the area has a deep connection to the Issa Heike. It is also said to be the location where 3 mermaids were caught in the fisherman's net and presented to Taira no Tadamori during the Heian period. Okay. This young lady is a distant relative of mine, the 3rd daughter of the Lunar Light family. A bit too quiet? Oh god. Okay. The Lunar Lights have been in the business of demonic exorcism in England for several generations now. As such, young Circe has received education on this rare subject from a young age and is now an apprentice exorcist. In order to continue her training, or more likely simply because of her interest in the area, Circe has come to Japan to study abroad. Upon hearing such news, I sought to employ her as my guide for this mermaid hunting expedition to Issa Bay. She is apparently quite fond of Japanese myths and folktales and has already explored a number of areas concerned with the occult. Interested in visiting Mie Prefecture at least once during her stay, she immediately agreed to my request. Oh, nice. A young exorcist from England currently on exchange in Japan, possessed of a bold and willful nature, she harbors an ardent interest in Japanese folklore and occult stories. She is quick to involve herself in anything that interests her, not stopping until her curiosity has been completely sated. Although she can be fairly blunt, she shows a naivete appropriate to her age around those she's comfortable with, and is not above the occasional prank. Cersei is the third daughter of Ciara Lunalight, the current head of the matrilineal Lunalight family, a long line of exorcists based in England. Along with her two older sisters, she has received a specialized education in exorcism ever since she was a child, and is currently in training as an apprentice. As the beings known as demons in the West ultimately share the same root cause as a harmful supernatural phenomenon in the East, the spirits of the dead, strong thoughts and curses, what she does as an exorcist is fundamentally the same as what Japanese psychics do, with only the methods and terminology differing. Primarily spiritual abilities, guardian spirits. The ability to call upon the numerous guardian spirits of the Lunalight family and invoke their powers to exercise spirits and negate certain psychic abilities. Shikigami. The ability to turn a piece of paper with an individual's name written on it into a butterfly, which will return to the individual in question. Although she does not have to be the one who wrote the name, it must be Cersei who cast the spell on the paper. Dowsing. The ability to use a pendulum to search for a target based on what the user can sense of their spiritual power. The effective distance of the spell depends on the strength of the target's spiritual power. Although she's supposed to be in the care of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, a confidential Japanese institute, during her time in Japan, Cersei has been spending more time traveling around the country sightseeing than working through her training curriculum. The supervisor in charge of her training has all but given up on trying to mentor her as a result, resolving to keep an eye on her but otherwise not interfere. As such, she's afforded a relatively high level of freedom. Cersei's an ardent fan of Mio Kurosuzu, a girl with potent spirit sense and her senior in the industry in Japan. She harbors both strong admiration and strong feelings of rivalry towards an equal measure, and it's not uncommon for her to end up babbling mess when the topic turns to the other girl. She treasures the photograph she has taken with Mio upon first meeting her in Tokyo and keeps it with her at all times. That's sweet. I like that they're somewhat mentioning the characters from the first game.
Havagatan might be located right next to Mie Prefecture's modern capital, Sioux City, but there's something you have to keep in mind. This was also the birthplace of the Heike, a branch of the Heian period's preeminent Taira clan. If you're going to talk about Issa province, then you absolutely have to mention the Heike.
I do have a passing understanding of the topic. The Heike took part in the Genpei War, correct?
That's right. There was a war in the Heian period where two great samurai families, the Minamoto and the Taira, locked horns and really got into it. Among the Heike, Taira no Kiyomori was a particularly famous figure who appears in many creative works concerning the event. His father, Taira no Tadamori, was the one responsible for securing the Heike's high social standing.
So Tadamori was Kiyomori's father, right? With names like that, how can anyone hope to keep them straight?
That's history for you. I'm afraid you just have to memorize them.
I suppose you're right about that. Then memorize them and show.
Apparently, Tadamori was born in Sioux City in a place called Ubushina.
Ah, so that's why they call this area the birthplace of the Heike. A city located in the central Issa Plain and the capital of Mie Prefecture, previously known as Anotsu, Sioux City has served as a port town since the Heian period, after which it continued to flourish as an important port city for Japan. Sioux City is also known as the birthplace of the Heike. The Ubushina area in its suburbs is said to be where Taira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori, was born. Okay.
This is the metropolitan center of Mie and a locus of historical events. I guess that makes it the perfect place to start a new journey.
If you say so. Can we get back to those mermaids you mentioned? What became of the three that were caught in the fishing nets?
At that time, the lord of this area was Taira no Tadamori. You didn't already forget him, did you? Well, the fisherman thought the mermaids were a fascinating find, so he placed two of them into boxes and presented them to Tadamori.
The Tadamori must have been well pleased by that. How could he not be? There was no one eating the flesh of a mermaid grants eternal life.
Actually, Tadamori evidently said they were disturbing and gross and refused to accept them.
Ah, what a waste.
However, the fisherman cut up the remaining mermaid and ate it himself.
So, what happened to it?
Well, the fisherman said it was pretty tasty.
Well now, tasty, is it?
And that's all I've got.
That's it?
That's all I could find in existing records.
Then the act of eating a mermaid's flesh alone may not produce any results. I suppose then there may be other requisite conditions, wouldn't you say?
Well, considering the sheer number of eyewitness reports concerning mermaids, it is odd that there aren't more immortals walking around.
I think if they actually talked, her and Mrs. Housewife would certainly get along better. They share the same opinion.
There don't seem to be any records about what happened to the mermaids that Tadamori refused to accept. I suppose it's possible someone in the Heike clan snuck off with them.
That's a hypothesis I can't get behind.
I've put together an assortment of files concerning the Heike, so feel free to give them a look if you're interested.
Oh, you may I feel gratitude. Oh me. I don't know Tadamori. Taira Tadamori, the father of Taira no Kiyomori, an influential figure of the Heian period, was the man responsible for solidifying the social standing of the Ise Taira clan, and was notable for being the first samurai permitted to enter the imperial court. Entering the imperial court meant being granted access to the Tenjo no Ma, a chamber where those who directly served the emperor performed their official duties. In an era where the warrior class was still considered of low status, a samurai rising to the level of court official was unprecedented. The Ise Taira clan went on to extend its influence across various provinces, with the vast wealth it gained through trade with the Song dynasty of China solidifying its foundation. This significant influence was later inherited by his son, Kiyomori. Tadamori was said to have been a man of strong will and perseverance, yet despite the power he amassed in his lifetime, he was also said to have been modest and disinclined to indulge in luxuries. Nukemaru, Tadamori's sword and heirloom passed down through the Taira clan. Originally named Kokarashi, it is said to have become known as Nukemaru when a giant snake emerged from a lake and made to swallow Tadamori whole as he lay resting. At that moment, Kokarashi, which Tadamori had left leaning nearby, slipped from its scabbard of its own accord and drove the snake away. The name Nukemaru derives from the verb nuku, meaning to unsheath, and reflects the sword's extraordinary act of slipping from its scabbard on its own to save its owner. Nukemaru was later inherited by Tadamori's son, Yorimori, but after the downfall of the Taira clan, it is said to have changed hands several times, and its whereabouts are currently unknown. The Mermaids of Betsu. One time, when Tadamori was visiting Betsu in Ise province, 3 creatures with the heads of humans, the lips of monkeys, and the teeth and bodies of fish were caught in the local fishermen's nets. Dubbing these creatures Ningyo, the original Japanese word for mermaids, the fishermen put 2 of them in a box that had washed up with them and presented them to Tadamori. However, Tadamori was unnerved by their appearance and refused to accept them. It is said that the remaining mermaid was cut up and eaten by the fishermen, who found them to be delicious. Ugh.
Oh, there's one thing I should warn you about, though.
Oh?
This group sometimes gets referred to as Ise Taira as well, which might make things a little confusing. I'll go ahead and label it all as Heike.
Does it really matter? Aren't they basically the same thing?
Not exactly. You see, the term Ise Taira refers to the Taira clan as a whole because it originated in Ise.
I am losing my mind.
On the other hand, people generally refer to the family within the clan that included Tadamori and Kiyomori as simply the Heike. The family features prominently in the stories we're interested in, so I'll use Heike most of the time. Plus, it has a nice ring to it.
Either way works for me, do as you like.
Tale of Heike also used Heike.
You're awfully particular about this, but I rather like that kind of fastidiousness. I don't. I'm losing my mind.
Anyway, after a number of events, the Heike would go on to lose the Battle of Dan-no-ura and be completely eradicated.
I believe I know this one. Dan-no-ura is found in Kyushu, is it not?
Bingo. The clan was chased out of Kyoto and pushed further and further west until they were eventually wiped out there.
It pains me to think of such a resplendently glorious clan meeting such an ignominious and... brother. More's the pity.
That's why the Heike's resentment is particularly strong, and many remnants of it remain even today. Shrines and monuments have even been erected throughout the land in an attempt to quell that resentment.
And now we reach your particular field of expertise.
Because the clan fell from such an exalted position so abruptly, the resentment is exceptionally persistent and quite pervasive. That said, famous places related to people like Taira no Kiyomori are well attended by worshippers, so they're relatively stable. It's the puffed up and pretentious Heike clan members that no one even remembers who caused the most trouble.
I seem to recall a number of individuals going so far as to claim that those outside of the Heike clan could not even be considered human. But if that's the case, are we really safe here? You don't think we might find ourselves assailed by these lingering grudges?
Much of Ise province is protected by shrines and the area is suffused with spiritual energy, so we're probably safer here than most places. But that's just the land itself. Objects or people that the resentment has seeped into a different story altogether.
That's somewhat troubling to hear.
Well, either way you look at it, this region is still home to many places and things associated with the Heike.
Okay. We've come all this way to distant foreign land seeking mermaids. Of course, I have my own reasons for trying to locate the mythical creatures, but for now I intend to scour this land in order to learn as much as I can about its lore and legends. But it occurs to me that I never actually explained the particulars of my Issa Bay mermaid excursion to the girl. No matter, it's nothing of consequence really, so I'll just introduce my reasons a bit at a time. Nickname Avi, a fantasy author and occult journalist whose books are published in both America and England, but they apparently don't sell well unmarried. Notable works include The Fiend of Ringit and the Solar Crow, Hermit's Travels, and the Bon Appetit, the Phantom Gourmand series. Although a grown man, he still has a certain naive boyishness to him, most evident in his passion for romantic tales and appetite for chasing his dreams. However, this also comes with an equivalent amount of immaturity, making him somewhat troublesome to deal with. He believes that most any circumstances he finds himself in will sort itself out, an optimistic creed that often sees him casually throwing himself into difficult situations, and he remains impressively unbothered even on those occasions. He does find himself in trouble, often managing to slip out of danger with nary a dent in his usual carefree attitude. That he's made it this far unscathed is largely owed to sheer luck, although he remains blissfully unaware of this. He's currently in Japan seeking mermaid flesh, which is believed to grant immortality. His reason is simple: a fascination with the occult, a pursuit he feels is worthy of devoting his entire life to. Indeed, he is primarily driven by his pursuit of romantic ideals. If he finds something suitably inspiring, he will readily risk his life for it, and is willing to change his views just as quickly for the same. Avi's interest in the occult was born when he discovered his great-grandmother's vast collection of mysterious occult artifacts in the storage of his family home in America. Among them was a mermaid mummy, which yielded a mysterious map when taken apart, a discovery which captivated his imagination and led to his current quest. This great-grandmother happened to be a relative of the main Lunar Knight family in England, albeit one who had chosen not to succeed the family estate. After discovering this through independent research into his lineage, Avi made contact with the Lunar Knight family and continues to maintain a secret correspondence with them to this day. Your great-grandma has a random mermaid mummy around? That's not weird to you? That's not scary? Okay. Lineage, yes, that's the next one. That's the next one I'm gonna try and learn. It sounds cool, but also like, oh yeah, just found a mermaid mummy, huh? But then, would such mermaids be so easily trapped by simple fishing nets? I thought them more cunning than that, but perhaps these fish mermaids are in fact nothing more than simple sea creatures. Thank you for the follow, come in. Anything else? I've talked to you? Anything I can look at?
The endless expanse of the Issa Sea, the eternal world may lie just beyond this horizon. After all, Issa Province is the land where they repair the waves from the eternal world.
The eternal world is purported to be a perpetual paradise, a separate plane from the world we live in, yes? Could it be that mermaids hail from such a place? Excellent. I believe I've gotten a grasp of the situation at hand. If you say so. It's time we made our way to the next locale. We're on the clock, after all.
Let's get to it.
Move! Oh my god. Like, putting aside the fact that they're both foreigners, with her clothes specifically, yes, they are absolutely going to have people look at them weirdly. Right. So I will use this chance while we have the ad break going anyway to finish this ride. This thing about her showing up with a wooden box, I'm like, what are all these boxes?
Why do people have boxes they randomly show up with?
So far, I definitely think that Yusa's mother is a mermaid and not some Makawa person. But what does it mean for him? If he's the son of a mermaid and a normal human, what exactly does that mean for him? Oh well. It would seem that we've arrived. And where are we now, Susie? Pressing the wrong buttons, that's where we are now.
This is an area in Ano Town known as Kosawa. Kosawa is quite famous because of the Yao Bikuni legend. I'd be surprised if there was anyone who hasn't heard of it.
I'm sorry to say, I've never heard of it.
She's so cute! Wait, really?
Come now, don't act so shocked. You can't expect me to know every little thing. And besides, I'm not even from this country. She's not either. The very reason I requested you be my guide was so you could teach me about things like this.
I guess that's true. Okay, I understand.
I'll be counting on your explanations. Yeah. How many more updates will we get just from this part? Ano Town is located in the Yage district, so named during the events of the story. It has since been merged with Tsu City of Mie Prefecture. Located at the foot of Kyogamine, a mountain with a single 890-meter peak, the land surrounding it is rich in natural splendor, with multiple hot springs welling forth from the earth around it. From the Edo period until the Meiji period, it was known for being the primary place of production of tsumuji, a delicate fabric woven in such a way as to be semi-transparent. Cool. You think they're hiding any funny birds? Yes, they are. 10! Got an achievement for having collected 10 out of 20. I do wonder if, like, they actually went to all of these places and took all of these pictures and then put them through that filter, and that's how we get these backgrounds. It's nice.
The evil beauty of the serene Japanese countryside, it really is charming.
Oh yes, the incessant chirruping of locusts combined with the unrelenting heat. This is Japanese summer, right?
It's fascinating to think that such a peaceful place could be home to such profound historical events. I'm practically jittering with excitement.
That's so funny. And I've given her this voice where I'm
actively getting closer to the microphone,
so you can hear it. I can see that. Let's try to keep a cool head, shall we? So as the girl is concerned, I suppose I could be considered a guardian of sorts. Even so, I often find myself caught up in her pace and completely thrown off guard. If anyone should be shaking things up around here, it ought to be me.
The legend of Yao Bikuni originated here in Kosawa, Ano Town. Long, long ago, a 17-year-old girl named Osato lived in this village. She unknowingly ingested the meat of a mermaid that was served during a village gathering and became immortal. After subsequently being persecuted by the other villagers, she became a nun and made a pilgrimage around the entire country. At the end of the story, she eventually returned to this village and lived out the rest of her very long life.
Tales told in other parts of the country play out in almost exactly the same fashion.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Tale of Yao Bikuni, a bikuni, fully ordained Buddhist nun who acquired preternatural longevity after eating the flesh of a mermaid. The Yao Bikuni legend passed down in Mie Prefecture is as follows. Once upon a time, a beautiful girl by the name of Osato lived in Kusawa village. One day, when Osato was 17, the flesh of a mermaid was served at a village gathering. The other villagers, disturbed at the thought of eating such a strange creature, refused to eat it, but Osato unknowingly ate the mermaid's flesh. From that moment on, Osato didn't age a day. Shunned by the other villagers and treated as a monster, she was eventually forced to leave the village. Becoming a nun, Osato traveled the length and breadth of Japan for hundreds of years before eventually returning to Kusawa village, where her long life at last came to an end. Ooh, so many. What else?
The legend of Yao Bikuni, the girl who ate the flesh of a mermaid and lived for 800 years, has been passed on all over Japan. Not only here in Mie Prefecture's Ano Town, but in Fukui, Aichi, and Gifu prefectures as well. In total, the story has been found in 121 locations in 28 prefectures throughout the country, or at least that's what certain research has indicated.
Doesn't that seem like a lot? Were there really that many different Yao Mikunis out there?
Obviously, not all of the legends can be true. But I actually have a theory on the subject. Would you like to hear it?
By all means.
Most of the legends refer to a woman who stopped aging and lived for 800 years after consuming the meat of a mermaid. At that point, because others would find it strange that she wasn't getting any older, she wasn't able to live in a normal society anymore.
I suppose that would be natural. It would explain why she withdrew from the world and became a nun.
Exactly, and that's how she got the name Yao Bikuni, the 800-year-old Bikuni nun. With 800 years on her hands, she could have easily made a pilgrimage around the entire country.
Interesting. Buddhist priests are known for trekking throughout the land as a form of ascetic training.
And if you consider the 821 locations where the legend was found within 800 years to spare, she could have spent 6 years in each location. 6 years would certainly be enough time for her to make a name for herself in each and every location, right?
Oh, my dear, I believe I see what you're getting at. Your theory posits that the stories of Yao Bikuni that have been passed down in every corner of the country all refer to the exact same individual.
Well, it might be a bit much to say that all of them are the same. There may have been a few different people. But it's more convincing than the theory that there were 121 people. I also think the Yao Bikuni of Wakasa province is the most likely origin of the legend.
I wonder. Don't all of the different instances of the story throughout Japan also claim that particular location as a place of final rest?
That may be true, but I assume that each of those different places wanted to have a grave or some other tangible marker to base the legend on. But with so many people that are purported to have lived for 800 years all died around the same time, it seems pretty unlikely.
Then you believe some of the tales were embellished somewhat.
That sort of thing happens all the time. Legends are always mixtures of truth and fantasy. Moreover, it doesn't make sense that every single mortal would decide to become a nun. There were likely some places that simply believed Yao Bikuni was the term for an immortal.
Rather than a nun, for all we know, she said, "I'ma be none of that," and became an armor diver. Oh! Yeah, okay, congratulations to the translators for that one.
That's actually pretty insightful. Many legends are based on simple semantic misunderstandings.
No, I just don't in it. I won't stand here and let my dumb joke actually become a salient point of discussion.
Let's drop it then.
But still, if one were to somehow live for 800 years, a person that became immortal after the Kamakura period could still be alive today.
True, and if so, I'd love to sit them down for a long chat.
I see. I'ma be none of that. Oh my god. I wonder what the original text was making that pun on. Can Kurosawa's legend of Yao Bikuni really be true? There must be falsehoods and fictions mixed into the tale, surely. Who knows? Asa province isn't that far from Wakasa province after all. She may have simply walked here from there.
The fact that the stories from each different area are so similar does make me wonder if they didn't get mixed together somehow.
Ah, you think the legend may be an amalgamation of stories from various locations?
Exactly, but then again... The immortal in the story from this location is her own name, which gives the legend a certain very similar to... what now?
I don't like the foreigners. They're using words I've never heard before in my life. Very similar. Very similar to... I mean, yeah, I get what it's supposed to mean, but oh my god. Indeed it does.
I guess we can assume that a girl with the name really did live here long ago. And something must have happened to make people believe she'd become immortal. It's reasonable to assume that her story then got mixed up with various legends of Yao Bikuni from around the country before being passed down.
Of course, the exact timing of these events is still unclear, but that does present an interesting possibility. She could very well still be living in this village. Wouldn't that be a compelling development?
I'll leave it on a cold writer to think up something like that.
That's right. You're seeing the prodigious imaginative power of a fantasy author in action.
Yes, it's really something. The fact of the matter is that almost no traces of Yao Bikuni remain in this village. Even her grave, which is referred to as Lady Yao's tomb, has never been located.
But then, did we come all this way for nothing? No, I don't think so.
Well, it might not have a direct connection, but there's something one should always consider when discussing Ise. The Tales of Ise. Have you heard of it? It's the oldest extant collection of Japanese verse compiled sometime during the Heian period.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. But I've heard of the Tale of Genji and the Tale of Heike. Is it anything like those?
Well, those were also stories written during the Heian period, but that's where the similarities end. Nice try, though.
Well, they sound similar enough anyway.
Don't worry, I'm not an expert on the subject either. Basically, this collection of verse elaborates on a number of waka poems by giving accounts of the events surrounding each one. The entire collection of 125 passages is referred to as the Tales of Ise. That's easy enough to remember, no?
Tales of Ise is a collection of short stories. Check.
One more thing. The title might be the Tales of Ise, but the content isn't all that focused on the actual area.
What's this now? I intentionally attempt to confuse and bewilder us.
Some believe the title comes from the fact that passage 69 is set in Ise province. At any rate, I just thought I should bring it up because it does have at least a slight bearing on the topic at hand. If you're keen to learn more, I'll add more detailed information to the files.
Why, thank you. I'll be sure to read through them later. No, I'll read through them right now. The Tales of Ise, a collection of verse, or Uta Monogatari, thought to be the oldest surviving work in Japan. It is particularly well known for the opening sentence of many of its prose passages. Long ago, there was a man. Believed to have been compiled in the Heian period, it greatly influenced the literature of the era, including famous works such as the Tale of Genji. The central figure of the narrative is speculated to be a fictionalized version of Ariwara no Narihara, a poet of the Heian period, with the prose passages serving as a biography for the character. Both the author and its exact date of publication are unknown. Okay, girl.
There's one other thing we can learn from the Tales of Ise. Adding the tale off to a book title really classes things up. You should keep it in mind. It was apparently all the rage during the Heian period.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. My next book is certainly going to be a tale off. Bruh. Well then, I suppose that brings this particular subject to a close. On to the next. No rest for the wicked, I say. Time to tackle the next mermaid myth.
Sure.
There's a Berserker Master dropping soon. I haven't even played the original. I've not played a single Tales of game. One day. Here we find our next subject of inquiry. What place might this be, my dear?
This is Futami-ga-Ura, the coastline that lies beside Futami town. It's just over from Ise City.
Ah, this is... Oh! This is where they found that one mermaid. On Shiki's path. We finally penetrated the outskirts of Ise City proper. Things are certainly beginning to heat up. I've heard that Ise City was the prefectural capital from the fact that Mie Prefecture was once known as Ise Province. Not bad, eh?
Well, I can understand how you would arrive at that conclusion. But the truth is, Mie Prefecture is composed of 4 separate provinces: Ise, Shima, Iga, and Ki.
Ah, is that so?
But that doesn't change the fact that Ise City is regarded as the spiritual capital of Japan, making it a very important location.
Very interesting, but the sun has already begun its steady descent, so perhaps we should pick up the pace a bit. You think there's gonna be another thing hidden? Not just a... Oh my god, that's so much water. Music is very... foreboding.
Futami-ga-Ura Sea is famously said to purify the body, so many visitors to Ise Shrine come here as well. The scenic beauty of the location has even been featured in poems from antiquity.
It certainly is easy on the eyes. The strands of pine trees along the shore make for quite a striking image.
To make it even better, the embankment we're standing on offers a 360-degree view of Ise Bay.
It makes you want to get out on the very edge to take it all in.
It really does. Being surrounded by the bay like this is such an enchanting feeling. What a breathtaking view.
Until a mermaid body gets washed ashore. So, this is place of any legends featuring mermaids.
It does. A record called the Kagenki was written by people at Horyuji Temple after the Kamakura period. In that record, there are a total of 6 instances of information concerning mermaids.
6, eh? That's certainly promising.
One of those entries describes a sighting here in Futami, Ise Province, on April 3rd during the second year of the Enmun era, which would be 1357.
Did I even know the exact date? How fortuitous.
The passage is as follows. From the sea of Futami in Ise Province came Enmeiju, delivering perpetuity.
So, what exactly does that mean?
My guess is that a mermaid was spotted in the sea by Futami, and it was named Enmeiju, meaning health and long life, because it granted longevity.
Aha! It granted longevity, did it? Finally, we're getting to the good stuff.
Yes, it's another account relating mermaids to Yaobikuni. It seems the idea of mermaids granting immortality had already been established at the time.
Indeed, and now we even have a name. So what sort of mermaid was this, and what became of it?
No clue.
Again with the vague records, these people write down the appearance of some fantastical creature and then just let it wander off.
I haven't personally gone over every bit of research on the matter, but I can speculate on an answer. Records of mermaids in other places also often refer to them by name. In fact, it may not have been all that uncommon for the people in the area to encounter them when these records are written.
Let me see if I follow your meaning. The same mermaid would appear repeatedly, leading people in the area to grow accustomed to it. Am I on the right track?
Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't bother giving a name to something you only saw once after all. These people may have even come to have a kind of rapport with the mermaids. At the very least, it doesn't appear as though they were trying to capture any.
Mermaids that people didn't want to capture. When they weren't seeking its flesh. Perhaps there was a way of obtaining immortality even without the meat.
Maybe mermaid meat really was just tasty and nothing more. And if that were the case, then it makes perfect sense that they would view the mermaid as a divine creature.
So they treated as an auspicious being that blessed others with long life. You may be onto something there.
This makes me think of that theory you mentioned about how there might be 2 different kinds of mermaids.
Oh, you remembered? I stand by my theory. There's a fish mermaid, which looks more like an aquatic monster or beastie, and the human mermaid, which resembles a demi-human or a nymph.
Indeed, that's the simplest way to describe it anyhow. Assuming the mermaid in question had a name, formed relationships with humans, and granted longevity, it stands to reason it was of the human mermaid variety.
You have a point. The mermaids we encountered thus far have all been caught in nets and appear to be more like fish mermaids.
It seems more likely then that the mermaids who grant longevity are actually these human mermaids.
Interesting. That in turn would suggest... My word, would this mean that one could become immortal without eating their flesh?
I'm not sure. There are countless legends that reference the need to consume their flesh. But I can't help but feel like there's more to it. If human mermaids are capable of communicating with us, I'd really like to speak to one.
Agreed. Speaking of which, this is entirely unrelated, but there's something I've been wondering. Do you mind?
What? But our conversation was just getting good.
Protest all you like, but I shall ask anyway. On our way here, I noticed a certain something adorning the entrances to everyone's houses. What was that?
Oh, right. Those are Somin Shorai talismans.
I feel like they made this entry even more specifically Japanese, but also obviously like explaining everything. Because unless you have like a special interest in folk tales, you might not know of all this, but oh my god. It's a lot of info dumping right now. Which is unfortunate because we had just had a bunch of people die, and then it's like, hey, how about you switch your protagonist for a while, huh? So mean, sure, eh?
Yes.
Folk takes acknowledge much of this. Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they tell us about it, and obviously I assume they're going to tweak it in a way that they would need it to work for their specific story to tell here, but oh my god.
Yes, although in most of Japan they're usually only hung up around the new year, but here in the Isotobashima region they're traditionally left up all year long.
Interesting.
I can add more detailed information to the files for you later.
You say later, but I'm reading them right now. Somin Shorai. A type of talisman inscribed with the character Somin Shorai Shison, meaning descendant of Shomin Shorai. These talismans come in a variety of forms, ranging from smaller objects such as paper slips, wooden tags, or hexagonal wooden charms, to larger objects such as hoops made of entwined miscanthus reeds or shimenawa, sacred ropes used for ritual purification. These talismans are generally placed at the doorways of households as a prayer for sound health and to ward off illness. Many households in Isashima place Somin Shorai talismans at the entrances to their homes, usually in the form of paper slips or shimenawa. Although most families in Japan only put shimenawa up during the New Year, in Isashima they are kept up the whole year round, being replaced once a year on New Year's Eve. The word Somin Shorai originates from the name of the central figure in the legend of the same name. Although many versions of the tale exist throughout Japan, the tale as generally told in Isashima is as follows. On New Year's Eve, the deity Gosutenno set out to court the princess of Ryugu. However, when night fell, he found that none of the nearby inns had a spare room to offer him, and so he turned to two brothers who lived by the sea for hospitality. The wealthy younger brother, Koten Shorai, turned him away, despite having the means to accommodate him. The elder brother, Somin Shorai, welcomed Gosutenno into his home even though he lived in poverty. Pleased by the simple yet heartfelt reception he had received, Gosutenno rewarded this hospitality by sparing only Somin Shorai from a plague that ravaged the area the next year. Ever since, it is said that hanging a wreath of miscanthus reeds and a charm declaring oneself to be a descendant of Somin Shorai from one's waist will offer protection from plagues and illness. This tradition has survived to the present day, where such charms are now used as talismans for good health and well-being. That actually does ring a bell. I've heard of that before. The Somin Shorai specifically. Huh. What is it? What? What is it? Now you're making me antsy. Huh? Huh? What is it? Come now, seriously? Seriously? You realized something about the Somin Shorai, didn't you? You must share.
No, nothing like that. It just made me think about how close this area is to the eternal world.
Is it? What does that mean?
You'd already know this from the files, but regarding the Somin Shorai, its origin goes back to a legend about the deity Gosutenno, who was courting the princess of Ryugu.
Ryugu, you say?
That's right. Ryugu is close to this place. In other words, that place is very close to the eternal world. Yes, and furthermore, Gosutenno was also the guardian deity of the Gion Shoja temple. The very same Gion Shoja who gets mentioned in our good old friend, the Tale of Heike.
So it is. What was it again? From the bells of the Gion Shoja echoes out the impermanence of all things, right? Sounds so cool that even I memorize it. Haven't got a clue what it means, though.
Yes, that's the one. As for its meaning, you can look it up yourself.
Fine. So what you're saying is, Isashima is a land with deep ties to both the Ryugu and the Heike. And that is exactly why the Somin Shorai tradition is so well established here.
That reminds me.
Oh my god, girl.
There's something about Ryugu's princess that keeps bothering me as well.
She certainly is mysterious,
That reminds me, about Futami Gaura.
Oh, suddenly dark out.
Scary.
Dear me, how time flies when listening to your lecture, Susie. The sun has already gone down.
I suppose I got carried away, sorry.
Well, if that results in such a lovely view of the sea at night, I'll not complain.
You're right, just look at all those stars.
Oh, starry sky. That is a lot of stars. But, considering that most of the first game was during the night, so it's a very scary. But look, the heavens are entirely enveloped in a shower of dazzling pinpricks of light. What a sight to behold. Would you happen to be versed in constellations, Cersei?
Well, I've dabbled a bit in astrology, so I guess I know a thing or two.
Of course you do. Excellent, do tell. Of course she does.
Oh, but we really let time get away from us. Look how dark it's gotten.
Without the light from the stars above, we'd be lost in pitch darkness. I'm sure.
Well, if you consider the constellations you can see in Japan during summer, the first one that comes to mind is the Summer Triangle. It's an easy one to find.
Triangle, eh? Then I presume it is made up of 3 stars.
Correct. Vega in the constellation Lyra, Deneb in the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquina. This trio of bright stars can be observed close to the Milky Way in this season.
I want to see. How do you go about identifying them?
Well, first, low in the southwestern portion of the sky, look for a star that glows red, Antares of the Scorpio constellation.
Southwest, you say? From here, that would mean facing inland and looking to the right.
Okay, try to find a red star low in the sky and point to it.
Oh boy, okay. Yeah, Vega Orihimen Alta Hikoboshi. Okay.
Possibly the most famous of the summer constellations are summer triangles formed by connecting Vega in the constellation Lyra, Deneb in the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquila. Vega and Altair are also said to represent Orihime and Hikoboshi, the two central figures of the Tanabata legend. The romantic imagery of the star-crossed lovers separated by the Milky Way has captivated people's imagination since time immemorial. How to find the summer triangle? The summer triangle is visible in the sky almost directly overhead around August. Start by facing southwest and looking low in the sky to find Antares, the bright red heart of the constellation Scorpius. From there, look straight up and you should spot Vega near the zenith. Okay. Inland. Oh. The red one. This one, right? Wait, I do believe I found it. The star just there with the reddish tint. There must be Antares, yes.
Correct, that is indeed Antares, the brightest star in the Scorpio constellation.
Ah, I found it all by myself. I make quite the celestial cartographer, if I do say so myself.
I hate to rain on your parade, but you were supposed to be looking for a star in the summer triangle, so please try again.
God, that's right.
Why not try looking straight up from Antares? Bet you find Vega at the sky's zenith. Give it a shot.
There, that must be it.
Bingo, that's Vega, one of the 3 stars in the summer triangle. In Japan, Vega is also called the Urihime star, and it's famous for its connection to the Tanabata Star Festival.
Then that must mean Hikoboshi will be on the opposite side of the Milky Way from that one.
Exactly right. Can you figure out which one it is?
Yes, the one that has funny effects playing.
One of the other stars in the summer triangle is in the same area, so let's see if you can find it.
I mean, yeah.
Eureka!
Eureka! I spotted it! Yay!
Oh, that's Altair, one of the 3 stars in the summer triangle. Part of the Aquila constellation, Altair is also known in Japan as Hikoboshi for its role in the Tanabata Star Festival.
Aha! Means I've managed to spot both Orihime and Hikoboshi. It's as if I've drawn the 2 star-crossed lovers together with my own hand. How overjoyed they must be.
Yeah, nice work. I didn't expect you to be such a romantic. Still another star in the summer triangle to find. It might be hard to see because of the angle.
Right you are. It certainly is a bit tricky to see something directly above you. If my eyes are as discerning as I believe it to be, that's the one.
Nice find. That's Deneb, one of the 3 stars in the summer triangle. Deneb lies within the Milky Way, which earns it the nickname Milky Way star.
Ah, it does indeed appear to be swimming nicely along the starry stream. There, I've located all 3 stars of the summer triangle. How'd you like that? She's clever.
Good work. Now you've mastered the summer skies. Should I start addressing you as Professor?
That's me. Feel free to rely on my knowledge.
Alright then, tell me, what is another name for the star Hikoboshi?
Altair.
That's right. Well done, Professor.
I mean, nothing to it. Regardless, we've seen all there is to see here in Futamigoda. I'd even go so far as to call this a wrap. I think that covers all the mermaid legends of Mia Prefecture, but is there anywhere else here you're keen to visit, Cersei?
What? We haven't even visited Issa Shrine yet. If you ask me, we've barely scratched the surface.
Ah, you got a point there, but it's getting late, so let's save that for tomorrow, shall we?
Alright.
Girl, please. Let me get some rest.
The next day.
Is this specific recollection just never ending? Okay, one more. One more.
The next day, your door was exploded by virtue of this virus that stabs you. No! Please. Talk about a gorgeous view.
It is something, isn't it? This is Mount Asama's observation platform. It overlooks Toba City on one side and Issa City on the other.
So that's Toba City over there, eh? What's Toba going for it?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about Toba is Toba Castle. built in the Sengoku period by none other than the pirate daimyo Lord Kuki, who at one time led the Kuki naval fleet.
Oh, that's more exciting than I anticipated.
As for the Tobashima area, it's famous for having the highest population of armor divers in Japan.
Aha! I knew there'd be something touristy. What a fantastic blend of culture and history. This feels like... Do you think that maybe they got part of their funding just by, like, a tourist association of Ise City? Or the Ise area? Like, it's nice, but it feels like I'm just genuinely on a sightseeing trip and not on a mystery. In a mystery game. It would be, right? I mean, maybe. Montesama straddles the border between Ise City and Toba City and is also known by its official name of Asamagatake? Asamagatake. Part of the Isoshima National Park, it was selected as one of the 100 landscapes of Japan, a listing of famous scenic sites scattered from across the country. Kongo Shoji, a temple located on the southern peak of Mount Asama, was built to protect Ise Shrine from the northeast, traditionally regarded as spiritually vulnerable direction. As a result, many worshippers who visit Ise Shrine also make the journey to Kongo Shoji. The observatory at the peak of the mountain offers a sweeping view of Toba City and the many islands that dot Ise Bay. Thank you for the hide time. Oh, it's interesting as all hell. It's just a very weird choice because we would have to do this at some point regardless. But doing this right after we had people kind of explode and die, I'm just like, Unfortunate timing, maybe. Toba City. City located in the northeastern tip of the Shima Peninsula, adjacent to Ise City and Shima City. Along with the city itself, its administrative area also encompasses 4 populated islands. The combined area of modern Toba City and Shima City was formerly known as Shima Province. Its coastline features one of Japan's most notable Ria coasts and is renowned not only for its marine industries, but also for its popularity as a tourist destination. Having originally sprung up as a castle town of the Toba domain, the years following the major era saw Toba flourish as the center of the Shima region. With an abundance of marine products available in its waters, it is also famous for being home to the highest number of active armor divers in Japan. There are many guest houses run by armor divers and fishermen along the shore, providing visitors to the area with the opportunity to enjoy fresh seafood. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do try when we're reading stuff in a game. I genuinely do try to maybe slow down a little bit, but this game has so much extra stuff to read about in its files. I'm just like, I gotta get faster.
Apparently Mount Asama's peak sits at 555 meters above sea level, so it's not that high. But as it's situated at the tip of the Shima Peninsula, it offers a magnificent view of Toba Bay's coastline and the outlying islands.
Since we stopped by the shrine this morning, I assumed we take the mountain path. All I can say is this place takes my breath away. Same. Oh, my breath is certainly taken away.
First off, you should know that the naval troops in the Sengoku period were basically just pirates.
Pirates, eh? You're breathtaking or something.
Yes, they would put together crews of rowdy sailors, arm them to the teeth, and have them patrol a designated area of the sea. They only actually served under the commander as a naval force when there was a battle.
So that's what the Navy was like back then, A ragtag bunch of pirates only called on to do their duty in times of need.
Exactly. In fact, such forces only came to be called navies during the Edo period, and that was purely a matter of convenience. As for the Kuki Navy, it was one of the pirate bands patrolling the waters of Ise Bay. A man named Kuki Yoshitaka was its commander, hence the name. He distinguished himself in the service of Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, eventually rising to the position of daimyo of Shima Province.
Oh my god. The unfortunate part here is, obviously, some of those names even I will have heard of in my life, but it's just like, how is this going to be relevant to our mermaid mystery? I'm not complaining because they've managed to connect stuff in the first game as well, so it's definitely gonna pay off. But also I'm just like, that is so many names. That is so many names.
That's why they called him the Pirate Daimyo. He started as a lowly pirate, but rose all the way to the top of the chain of command.
Did you say Oda Nobunaga? I've heard of him. He was the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven, no?
True, but that's a title he gave himself.
Still, a pirate and a daimyo. What an enchanting combination.
That may be, but he wasn't blessed where allies were concerned. It seems he was always butting heads with his relatives.
Oh?
For one thing, he may have had his nephew Sumitaka assassinated in order to take over the Kuki clan. He also fought on the opposite side to his own son, Moritaka, in a decisive battle of Sekigahara. And in the end, spurred on by his vassals, he committed suicide on Toshijima, that island over there. So while Kuki became daimyo of Shima province, his land was confiscated during his son's rule, and the clan fell into decline.
Life truly is full of ups and downs. How the mighty do fall. He must have been quite a character.
That reminds me, there's another fascinating legend related to the Kuki clan.
Oh, do it. No. Stop.
It's about Kuki Yoshitake's...
The kind of promotion called apart with the Mia prefixture. See, okay, that makes sense. That does make sense. Because this is... a lot.
It's about Kuki Yoshitake's nephew Sumitaka. He had an extraordinarily beautiful daughter named Princess Hatsune.
I dare say I know where this is going. Whenever legend starts with a beautiful daughter, it inevitably ends with trouble.
You're not wrong here. Princess Hatsune was so beautiful that she saw no end of suitors, and her father sought to marry her off to achieve his political ends. The princess already had a lover, so she fought against her father's plans and even ran away several times only to be brought home.
I knew it. Alas, that's what life was like for the daughters of powerful figures in those days.
Well, Princess Hatsune, Princess Hatsune lamented her fate. Must I be cursed with such misfortune merely for my beauty? And she didn't stop there. May no beautiful daughter be born to this land again. Such was the curse she left behind before throwing herself down a well. And so ends the legend.
Not what I'd call a happy ending. The princess may have had good intentions, but I'm sure no one else felt she was doing them any favors.
Good intentions? That isn't how I interpreted it.
Well, what's your take on the story then?
When authoritative figures try to force other people's hands, then they bring these things upon themselves. It's just asking to get cursed.
Fair enough, I see your point.
Still, the princess did take it a bit far. To me, though, it almost feels like that part was tacked on later. As if someone thought it would make the story more impactful, and that word of it would travel further if the princess killed herself at the end.
Oh, if you're right, that would change the story completely.
But there's something else that interests me more. Sumitaka became head of the Kuki clan in 1560, but he was so young that Yoshitaka had to be appointed as his guardian. His exact age at the time isn't known, but the common belief is that he was about 8 years old.
Nothing unusual there. Premature inheritances were a common occurrence in those days.
But consider this, when Sumitaka died 24 years later in 1584, he would have been 32 years old.
Yes?
Even if you suppose that Princess Hatsune was 15, their ages don't quite add up, do they?
Age difference weren't so much a point of contention back then, but even so, that is a bit odd.
Which begs the question, did Princess Hatsune really exist to begin with?
And even if she did, was she really Sumitaka's daughter?
An agate? Magatama was unearthed at the place where the princess was supposedly buried. But that could easily have been planted there to lend credibility to the tale.
Well, once you start doubting, it's hard not to see lies everywhere.
True, and the pursuit of the unknown starts with belief, doesn't it?
Well said.
A certain occult researcher taught me that one.
You don't say.
Cookie, Princess Hatsune. It does not sound as the look of the word would suggest. Agate. Okay. Agate. What's an agate, Magatama? Is that the material? Kuki clan, the pirates who became feudal lords. During the Sengoku period, Shima province was home to a number of local clans, among which the Kuki clan was just one of the many pirate clans operating in Ise Bay. However, things changed when the Kuki Yoshitaka correctly read the changing tides and allied himself first with Oda Nobunaga and then Toyotomi Hideyoshi, both powerful figures of the era. Rising to prominence as command of the Kuki navy, he became the feudal lord of Shima province, founding Toba Castle as his place of
operations. While Yoshitaka was in the service of Nobunaga, the head of the Kuki clan was his nephew Sumitaka, with Yoshitaka serving as his advisor. Despite his position, Sumitaka was little more than a puppet lord and died young, reportedly due to illness just 2 years after the Honnoji incident. However, some theories suggest that he was actually poisoned by Yoshitaka as part of a scheme to seize control of the family. A material. A type of... see, I was thinking a gemstone, but I cannot place which one. I get. The legend of Princess Hatsune. Kuki Sumitaka's daughter, Princess Hatsune Miku, was said to have been a woman of great beauty. Sumitaka planned to marry her off as a part of political marriage. However, Princess Hatsune refused, saying that she had already promised her future to someone else. Upon learning that Princess Hatsune's beloved was a member of an enemy clan, Sumitaka was enraged and insisted that she marry the person he had chosen for her. Although Princess Hatsune made numerous attempts to escape in order to be with her lover, she was caught each time and forced to return home. Despairing of her fate, Princess Hatsune lamented her beauty, blaming it for her predicament before throwing herself down a well in her sorrow. As she did so, she prayed with her last breath that no beautiful woman would ever be born in that land again, or so the legend goes. Despite the tale persevering as part of local folklore, many questions about the accuracy of Princess Hatsune's legend remain, including Sumitaka's age at the time. A heart. Comes a bunch of colors too. Yeah, that rings a bell.
Oh, I just realized something. Kuki Sumitaka died or was assassinated exactly 400 years ago.
Is that significant?
It is. A special spiritual significance is attached to a period of 400 years. For instance, the cycle of death and rebirth supposedly lasts 400 years, and some stories claim that a soul endures for 400 years. Of course, 800-year immortals have twice that lifespan, but as you can see, 400 years is widely considered a good cutoff point.
So there's a chance something happens after 400 years.
Maybe. In any case, we should probably tread carefully here.
Sounds to me as if we're in the right place at the right time.
Ama divers have a long history in the Tobashima region. Evidence indicates that free divers have been fishing in the area since ancient times.
You don't say.
Most notably, it is said that Obin, who once presented an abalone to Yamatohime no Mikoto, was the very first Ama diver. In fact, there's a shrine dedicated to Obin in Kuzaki that is considered a sacred place to Ama divers of the Tobashima region.
Is that so? She must have been truly legendary.
Moreover, there are several poems in the famous 8th century poetry anthology Manyoshu that depict the Ama diving in Shima province. Ama divers also appear in dozens of ukiyo-e from the Edo period. Clearly, they were a popular theme.
It's quite incredible to think that their method of fishing has not only endured for so long, but has been recorded in such exquisite detail.
There's another point worth noting. Ama divers have long been likened to mermaids for their skill and grace.
Likened to mermaids.
You could even argue that the Ama diver culture that is so deeply rooted in this place is interwoven with the region's mermaid legends.
Yes, there's a theory that the mermaids of Issa Bay were simply Ama divers.
It does seem likely there's a connection between the two. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the originators of the legend.
Perhaps, but I'd be beyond disappointed if that's all there is to it.
Oh, right. By the way, there's another legend surrounding the Ama divers of the Tobashima region regarding something called the Tomokazuki.
See, that's something that we're actually interested in, because we've had that happen. The Tomokazuki.
It is believed that an Ama diver may encounter a copy of herself underwater who will then offer her an abalone. If she accepts, the Tomokazuki doppelganger will drag her to the bottom of the sea, never to be seen again.
Seriously, please don't spring scary stories on me out of nowhere.
That's why the Ama divers of this area wear the Saiman and Doman symbols on them while they dive. It's a tradition that has continued right up to the present day. There must be some reason for it beyond pure superstition.
Interesting.
On another note, the Ama divers of the Tobashima region possess such exceptional diving skills that in addition to fishing, they also saved people from drowning and fetched objects that had sunk to the seafloor right up until the Meiji area.
Well, sounds as if they were true diving professionals.
Exactly. In fact, after the Heike were defeated at Dan-no-ura and were lost beneath the waves...
Oh, we're back to the Heike already. I wasn't aware there was a connection.
Well, after that fateful battle, who do you think they sent to reclaim the legendary sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi from the seafloor? 2 Ama divers.
Aha! So the lost and found services were being employed even back then, eh?
And while they were diving, they came face to face with the vengeful spirits of the drowned Heike.
Seriously, please, you're going to give me nightmares.
At least that's what they depicted in the ukiyo-e entitled In the Western Sea, the diving woman encountered a heike in the depths of the water.
Such a deep connection. To think the heike were even once depicted with armor divers. They surely are a symbol of the Isashima region.
Yes, but the setting for the ukiyo-e is Dan-no-ura, which isn't anywhere near here. Still, it does go to show that armor divers have held a deep connection to the sea for a very long time. And when we're talking about the DOVA-SYNDROME region, armor divers are always going to be key players.
True. If you ask me, they should be brought up before the pirates.
Mind you, the Navy had a crucial role to play too.
Right. Well, as fascinating as all of this has been, Cersei, I'd say it's high time we return to our primary topic of interest here.
Oh, and what would that be? Personally, now that we visited the Isa Shrine, I'm more or less satisfied.
Cersei, you disappoint me. We didn't come here purely to chase legends, did we?
Oh, and here I was hoping we could move on to buying souvenirs next.
You know perfectly well that the true purpose of my voyage is nothing more or less than a treasure hunt.
Right.
Of course, I'm sure all this information we've been gathering will come in handy as well. First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there we can plan our next move. Oh yeah, okay. Oh my god. Bon voyage! I don't care. I know the English version is voyage, but I'm like, bon voyage. Help me, Jesus. Oh my god. It's so extremely interesting, but done with sightseeing, maybe like I keep no, I would like to keep going, but it is already 4 my time. It is 4 p.m. my time. I actually will be part of a collab in like 2 hours, and I haven't even installed the game for that yet. And also I would like to kind of keep my voice. So I think we're gonna stop here for now and hope to find some more things that are not strictly sightseeing later on. It's 4 p.m. your time too. Crazy. I wonder why that is. Oh god. I want to keep going for longer, but I think we're gonna stop here for now. We'll see how I feel after the collab later. And when we'll continue. Oh, excuse me, continue this game. But for now, this is where we're gonna stop. I won't be live later for the collab, but I will be joining others on their streams, and I will be retweeting when we're live if anyone wants to catch that. But for now, this will be it. I'm sending you guys over to Karamani, who's playing a game I've frankly never heard of before in my life, but that's usually the case when it comes to those retro games. Thank you guys so much for coming by today. Have I written this correctly? Maybe. Let's see. Yes, I have. Here's the raid message. Thank you so much for coming by and hearing me absolutely stumble over words. I love doing that. But now this will be it. Have a good remainder of your day. I'll see you all soon. And bye bye. Bye bye bye.